try and hold off without the firepower to do so. And indeed, not going to be working out well so far. James finds another. Prison going to be able to take down Xanthers. However, James finds his first. It's all onto Major now in a 1-on-5, and he will be taken down by Demon 6. So AVANGAR gets a little bit shaky perhaps after having that 8-2 lead, but in the end, they do manage to just about get their way over that final hurdle. They're able to take this map 16-14, and we will send it now back to the analyst desk.
A big upset coming out from AVANGAR, taking Space Soldiers down 16-14 on Overpass. It was their map pick. They were in the lead from the beginning, but Space Soldiers, as Hoka said at one point, 10 rounds in a row for them, and somehow they managed to lose this Overpass, and they are now moving on to Cash that is picked by Space Soldiers. But of course, before we go into Cash, we're going to break down Overpass. So gentlemen, I mean, looking at AVANGAR, really nice performance at the start, basically shutting down Space Soldiers from the beginning on T side. But when Space Soldiers switched to T, and let's say there by the end, like a couple of rounds at the end of first half, they were quite dominant, taking a couple of rounds in a row. T side really dominant until one point. Then everything falls apart. I mean, Dima, Hogar, you saw that round when Dima pushed through mid. Amazing timing by him, I gotta admit. But
he got lucky.
Yeah, he got lucky, but again, it's kind of, I don't know.
It's combination of luck and skill to not.
Yeah, and bad setup from Space Soldiers as well. No one was watching there. I mean, they had two players towards there, but
they heard flash for the fountain. I mean, they needed to suppose that maybe somebody will push the fountain. They were just stuck in the playground. I mean, you must check you're behind, right?
Yeah, but what can you get out of this game? I mean, it was pretty close. A couple of crucial mistakes when entering site from Space Soldiers on B. First team kill by Calyx, then Pass jumps into his Molotov. He dies as well. That's two players down for Space Soldiers, even not from enemies. And that's kind of bringing you down, right? Because communication was not really on point in those crucial rounds when they were 5-on-5 and they were going for set executes towards B side. And seems like they're kind of overthinking some stuff, I would say, when they entered the site. That's why maybe that thing happened on B.
AVANGAR played pretty good on B. Sometimes they were aggressive, playing pillow. And a few times they decided, I mean, they saw the Space Soldiers really likes to attack B, right, with the setup smokes and everything. They just decided to play defensive and just to play on retake. And from that point on, I mean, Space Soldiers couldn't respond to that retakes. I mean, they hurled flashes and mollies for the side to clear up short. And I mean, Space Soldiers, they had a good setup for that side. I mean, Engine was staying short and with the two flashes and just trying to pop flash on some timing to try to let his teammates to pick, but they didn't hit their shots. I mean, it wasn't bad action. They just missed shots, and that's it.
Yeah, it was all really, I mean, questionable when you look at Dima being underwhelming for AVANGAR, but yet again AVANGAR managed to take this map. Imagine if Dima wakes up for the second map and they keep on performing like they did.
Dima didn't have a lot of frags, but that round he pushed middle. They won that round, and on 14-14 he was in the corner on the A side on the long, and he got there 2 or 3 kills, I think. So almost like the kills he had before that, so same amount. So I mean, 2 very impact frags and impact rounds from him. So
yeah, Danny, who was the MVP of AVANGAR's side? Who do you think brought them?
That's Kicker. Obviously, he played for 2 guys himself and for Dima. Even though Dima had some really nice rounds, especially that one you mentioned when he killed Bomb Carrier and won that round, but still he missed so many shots on A side. I remember watching him in the first half pushing through that A long, flanking 2 guys from behind, trying to spray both, and he missed both shots and he just died immediately. And in the second half he was in that corner towards A long, And I mean, two guys were in front of him. I don't know what he tried. You just have to tap him or burst fire. He sprayed and didn't get a kill. But still, I think I don't know what happened with Space Soldiers. That's quite strange. I mean, they were winning 10 rounds in a row from first to second half. Played really good, but AVANGAR, even though they decided to play that retake on B side, I mean, it worked once, but the second time I think they failed. But overall, it's a good game.
Yeah, I mean, it was really nice game from AVANGAR. I mean, they managed to come back to win it 16-14. It was a pretty close match. Actually, I thought that Space Soldiers definitely have this. But looks like we are going for a second map, of course. But before we go into the second map, we're going for a short commercial break. Don't forget to visit farmskins.com because they currently have winter sales going on, and you can grab cases for 90% off and get yourself a nice skin. We are going for a short commercial break now. When we come back, we are going to analysis of cash. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to Farmskins Championship Season 2. This is first day of playoffs. We have first quarterfinal going on currently between Space Soldiers and AVANGAR. Second match of the day will be with MOUZ and MANS Not Hot, so make sure to stay on the stream, of course, and follow these matches because a lot of action is coming your way and interesting best of threes. I mean, we thought that Space Soldiers are going to win easily this best of three against AVANGAR, but AVANGAR definitely putting their mark on Overpass, winning 16-14. Second map in this best of 3 is Cash and is picked by Space Soldiers. So they have chance of coming back, of course. Again, Cash, a map that can suit these players pretty well because they are pretty good individuals, especially Xantares. We saw him playing pretty well. Calyx had a really good game. Even Engine, I think Engine surprised us all. He was AWP player towards A site as CT. When it comes to T, it seems like they have a bit of a conflicts in roles.
Maybe just
currently.
Maybe just Paz doesn't like playing with op on Overpass.
I mean, yeah, that can be the case, but you usually want your opera to be available to all maps.
Each map,
yeah. So yeah, let's shortly break this Cash down because we are soon going live into the game. Danny, what do you think? Can Space Soldiers come back on Cash and win this and tie this series? Actually,
yeah, I think they're better shooters, but if Dima6 starts playing again like he did on Overpass, I mean, I hope he didn't lose his confidence because of his mistakes he did, although not including that round when he killed 2 guys with the bomb. But still, Kickert, I'm not sure if he's able to perform like he did on Overpass. I mean, he had 30 kills, that's quite impressive, but I'm leaning towards Space Soldiers on this one.
What about you, Hor?
I agree. I mean, Space Soldiers always played good Cash, and Xantares really like that map because, I mean, it's so opened. He's one of the best aimers, as I said, so yeah, 1-1.
Yeah, interesting style when he plays as well. We saw him at E-League Boston or Atlanta as well. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of players playing that close to a monitor, but seems like it's working out for Xantares. I mean, pretty interesting. Overall, I think he's really a good player, and you can see basically every professional player respecting him when he was introduced to FPL as well. So seems like we are ready to go live into the second map of this best of 3. And of course, once again, casters for you are Dean and Hawk.
Thank you, guys. Welcome back. Of course, we are going to be going into the second map now. It is just going to be the knife round that's live, and it should be a good one. I think I agree on the desk that it will be Space Soldiers being able to take this one, but I think Mirage will probably be, if we do go that far, quite a lot closer.
Yeah, definitely. And to be fair, AVANGAR certainly aren't a bad Cash team either. It's just the fact that Space Soldiers are really, really good on this map. They pretty consistently get wins on Cash. I mean, AVANGAR, remember, they did play this at the Major, or in the qualifier once against Misfits, and they got the win there, so that's certainly not a bad result to have in the back pocket. But Space Soldiers have just got so many wins on this map. They played it a couple of times at the Minor, they found success there against Optic and Envy, and overall, it's really hard to beat Space Soldiers on Cash. So if AVANGAR do win here, I'll be massively impressed, but certainly expecting the Turks to be able to take us to a third map.
Yeah, but we will now be getting live into this pistol round. It is actually going to be on the AVANGAR side, just 5 sets of Cavalier. They're not going to be investing into any utility at all. Engine gets the defuse kit for Space Soldiers to work with, as right now it looks like AVANGAR are just going to be making their way immediately towards this A-bomb site, and if they go in towards A main, it could be a bit of a problem. We see currently Paz and Xantares, they were aggressive. They aren't anymore. They have begun to now just fall back off and just leave Xantares in this position instead. But that means that he could be in trouble. We see with a couple players in the door, a couple players about to come from A main, he may get overwhelmed. He's not going to be able to spin around fast enough perhaps and be able to take multiple kills in this position. So it could get dangerous. But over towards mid, where the first contact will be found. Paz, not really going to be able to find too much. He gets dinked down and he will just fall back off. And Xantares, as mentioned, even if been able to find one, he will be traded back by Jame from the door. And now on a 4-on-4, the A-bomb site is going to be under the control of AVANGAR.
Oh, Calyx, very quick with the flick up to the face of Prison. James going to come in to assist his teammate. And a couple of quick kills for AVANGAR swing things back into their favor. Having said that, Engine gets a kill back, but he's going to get double peaked. Still no frags coming in. Damage done either way. And Buster hunting down the kill is going to get traded on. So it's back to a 1v1. James trying to play patiently. Major, I think, is getting the defuse kit, but he's taken a lot of time in doing so. Now the flash comes in, but James can just play the time. There's such little left. James just waiting patiently. Here's the steps, gets the frag. And I don't know if going for the kit there was the right call from Major. It did take a lot of time to get over to that position, and that allows AVANGAR to take the first pistol thanks to a Jame triple kill.
Yeah, that wasn't really the best situation. AVANGAR in a good position now. They go for a pretty safe buy into this one. They go for, I was going to say 3 rifles, but Jame also going to go ahead and get that Galil. So they know what damage can be done by Space Soldiers with these pistols. They know that they have very skilled players, and they're just going to make sure that they have the best weaponry available. As right now, Paz, he will be the only one really looking to try and go aggressive at all. He was originally getting up close to A main. It looks like he will instead just decide to fall back off, and now AVANGAR, obviously they will try and focus at least some presence towards middle. Kickart in a really good position here. Right now, no one from the CT side is actually going to be over towards mid, so this should be taken for free by AVANGAR, and that's going to put them in a really good position and to have the option to split towards either bomb site. And it's just going to make it so much more difficult for these pistols to try and hold. Because right now, as they make their way into A main, Xantair's holding a very tight angle with the Deagle, and space is a little bit wider. He's not actually going to be able to get too much done. He gets some damage at least. It does go slightly in his favour, but AVANGAR still, it's going to go back actually as the nade touches down onto Paz and drops him to 47 points of HP. So AVANGAR now just about a minute remaining, and they'll have to make a decision soon, and it seems like one has been made. They will make their way towards B, and it's actually just going to be all up to Calyx currently to try and hold this one down.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Kevlar. It shouldn't be a massive difference, though, as he just loses his head. Demasik taps that one off, and Major dishes out a little bit of damage through the smoke, but nowhere near enough to really give Space Soldiers a good chance on this retake. You see the bomb has already gone down. Major goes through the smoke. The flashbang didn't work, but it forced Buster to turn his back, so it allowed one kill to come in. Either way, AVANGAR still have the man advantage, and you can already see Space Soldiers just electing to fall back and save what they can. Certainly not a bad call at this point, but Engine, taken down very low, nearly loses his 5-7, but just about sneaks away. So Space Soldiers look good to save 3 guns at the very least, but they certainly are going to have to concede the round. Having said that, they could get the chance to do a little bit of damage into the next one. That's, I guess, what they will be aiming for.
Yeah, at least they have something to work with. If they didn't save these, they would be likely just on USPs. So they have a couple pistols, a few players with Kevlar also to try and actually get something done into this one. So at least they'll be able to try and cause some more damage. They didn't really get much found in the previous round. And AVANGAR now, they'll be happy with that. They just get 1 Mach 10 into this round. Jame looking to try and build up some bank with this, of course. He is the operator, wants to try and get himself that extra money, as he is just going to be making his way over towards the A main position, it seems, at the moment. Perhaps could go up on top of the boost, but it seems like for now, actually, yeah, indeed, he may just join his teammate in A main, and Kickart leading the way with this AK. Let's see what he's going to be able to find. Swapped out the shoulder of Xantair, some damage is found at least, but he's not aware of how many players are actually on this A bomb site, and it's actually currently going to be 3, so if they try and push out, perhaps Space Soldiers could find themselves a couple of kills out of this one.
Yeah, Xantares does have the Deeg, but he also only has 25 points of health from the early damage inflicted on towards him. Having said that, Xantares gets a double! Oh, that was very, very quick. The Deeg not finding the headshots, but the body shots will do. Demasik eventually gets a kill back. And that means that AVANGAR do have to overcome the man disadvantage. Having said that, the B site is fairly open. And as Major goes down, that will allow the bomb to make its way forwards. And Demasik continues to clean things up. Really important round coming in from him there. He gets himself a triple, and Calyx, the only man left, will likely fall down. There it is. Demasik gets all 4 kills and really saves the round for AVANGAR. But Space Soldiers now have a buy, so with Calyx having the AWP, interestingly enough, this certainly won't be easy for AVANGAR.
Yeah, Calyx, not really always the first option for the AWP on the Space Soldiers side, but he's certainly capable. It's more about the fact that he's also one of their best riflers, so most of the time they would rather keep him on that weapon. But if he's able to get it out now and the other players aren't, why not? Let's see what he decides to do with this one, as right now he is going to be just the sole B defender, like looking to try and take maybe a bit of a more aggressive stance so he can find a kill and fall back off once he spots out any players making their way in this direction. He will have Major now to try and support from the vents and also make sure that he's going to be able to help out mid. And it looks like AVANGAR are going to favour towards B. Calyx, though, opens that up with a nice shot into Jame. As now AVANGAR down by 1 man. They will be halted at least in their attempt to push forward for the moment, as they are just going to be left holding in the back of B main, waiting to see what happens. And finally it looks like they will try to move forward, and they should at least be able to get themselves a decent amount of control. But still, having that player in vent is such a good position for Major, as long as he's able to take at least 1 or 2 kills. But Calyx connected actually, now back towards his back box. It's going to get difficult, but he's hitting the shots. steps it up massively, and has Major look to do so as he gets himself at least 1 and a second. Missing the last man standing will at least find the trade, but now he's left to try and clutch out the 1-on-4. That's 3 as he did at least get the first one. Does almost line them up, but the C's dead. Out in time, and it is going to be Space Soldiers claiming that first gun round.
Yeah, nice work there towards the B bomb site from Calix. I was going to say, I do actually remember in the past, Space Soldiers seem to like on cash, Calix AWPing towards B on the CT side. I think this is somewhat of a map-dependent thing because quite often he will be alone towards B to start the round. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen in a fair few rounds for Space Soldiers here. That seems like a little bit of a switch-up they like to go with on cash. Either way, they get their first round on the board, and now that means neither side really has that much money built up. So the loser of this round will likely be forced down to a low buy. That makes this round all the more important at the early stages, just to sort of dictate how the economy game is going to work, who's going to have the control. Nice little boost there for Jane, but he's not going to spot anyone out in towards checkers because Calix is playing all the way back from heaven. That is a little bit of a risk. He does have Major to assist him in towards vents. However, if the push were to come in, Calix could quite easily be mollied out of this position. So it might be an issue if the B play comes out from AVANGAR, but with 58 seconds left on the clock, it's yet to be seen which side of the map AVANGAR will go towards.
Yeah, they still have quite a lot of time to work with. Well, not really a lot. They still have just about 50 seconds remaining. It has now begun to deplete a little bit, but they will make the decision. We'll try and go over towards A, where right now there's actually a very solid setup for Space Soldiers. They have 2 players to try and support. They have a player towards Highway, 1 in forklifts and 1 on the bomb site. As Kicker is going to be able to open that up. Xantar is just playing a single kill, so Paz now is going to be the man that's required to try and get the work done. But Engine, he finds at least 1. Paz lines them up and gets the spray down. But it will be returned again by AVANGAR, who are able to reclaim that man advantage, and Deem is sick. He steps it up and hits the headshot, redeeming himself for that previous map. As AVANGAR come in with the reset of the economy for Space Soldiers, and they're going to be really struggling to buy now into this one.
Yeah, and on the Space Soldiers side of thing, 1 eco may be enough to get a somewhat good buy, but Xantares with only $1,400 could be one of the players that struggles to get that full buy together. Either way, while Space Soldiers have a fairly hard eco, I'm going to take this chance to quickly talk about our giveaway and give you all the info you need. If you subscribe here to our channel on Twitch here at eFrag, you get the chance to win a Flip Knife Blue Steel Field Tested. That will be drawn on Sunday after the grand finals of this tournament. And it also helps us out. So make sure to subscribe if you want a chance to win that Flip Knife Blue Steel. And other than that, back into the round. A dink did come in on towards Jame, but no kills yet for Space Soldiers, as you would expect on the hard eco.
Yeah, nothing really going to be found. I don't even know if it's worth for them. It's definitely not worth for AVANGAR at least to hunt, but I don't know if it's worth for Space Soldiers to even bother going for this. I know they have nothing to save, but of course every kill found by AVANGAR is a bit of extra economy. If it's the UMP, they get an extra 600 per kill. If it's the AK's 300 per kill, the op won't really be too big of a deal if James gets a couple, and he definitely won't really be looking for any, but I just don't think Space Soldiers in this round have any chance of even being able to get any damage done. So likely going to be AVANGAR picking up a very clean anti-eco round rather. As Demisic hits another headshot onto Xantares, and now it's just going to be Engine and Calix that remain. And just up on the A-bomb site, you see they're not really looking to push forward. They are just looking to maybe try and deny that bit of extra economy for AVANGAR.
So Space Soldiers should get a buy up into the next round. But as I was saying, Xantares might not be able to get a rifle. And that's kind of an issue for Space Soldiers. I was going to say in the pregame, I think Xantares is really the main man to watch, especially because he had a somewhat quiet first map. Here on Cash, I think this is a map he's much more suited to, so I'd like to see him lead the way for Space Soldiers. However, he's going to have to do so with just a UMP in this round, which is a little bit unfortunate. It's also worth pointing out, Space Soldiers do have the AWP again for Calix, at the cost of not getting a single defuse kit, and also with limited nades in this round. So it's certainly not the best of buys for Space Soldiers. However, they certainly still have the chance to do some damage with it, and I think Demisic there may have been spammed through the garage early on, down a little bit lower on 57 HP, and in the meantime, Xantares with the UMP is going to get boosted up. That's a little bit of a strange decision in my opinion, because it's quite difficult to be able to get that push going without being heard. I guess he's going to try and get in towards A main if he can get the timing right and find the flank up close. But it's going to be difficult for that to win the fight. But there goes Buster, spotting out Major in towards Checkers. That's a good opening. The Engine has rotated over. There's still 2 players on towards this B site. And Engine's going to double down from Heaven.
Yeah, great work by Engine, and it was actually him who was able to get that spam, I believe, early on into the round. So, doing a really good job into this one. Space Soldiers, they need this gun round. Maybe a bit of a mistake there by Xantares on that flank to get taken down, but you can't really discredit Jamie. He hit a great shot, and it seems like with Paz finding the kill onto Crizzen, it should still go in favour of Space Soldiers unless James is able to pull off a miraculous clutch. And as you see, that won't be possible. Even with the flash working perfectly, Paz just pre-firing that angle will be able to find it. And Space Soldiers get themselves a second round. But AVANGAR, they can buy once again. They will be investing everything into this one, so if Space Soldiers manage to get themselves a second round here in a row, they will likely be able to break the economy of AVANGAR. But it is going to be very similar vice versa. If AVANGAR take this one, Space Soldiers, they will be reset once again.
Yeah, I was wondering if Paz was going to save that second AWP there, but he decided against it. They just want to stick with Calyx AWPing, as he has been so often towards that B site. And this time around, he may be tested with that AWP, because AVANGAR, the Kazakh lineup, look to be leaning over towards B with most of their players. Push is going to come in, but Calyx gets quite an easy first kill, and there comes the second. No smoke for CT allows him to open up. And now the rotation has come in. Engine also in towards Checkers. And Space Soldiers just pick apart the push. Buster might get a chance for a frag. There's the first headshot. That in comes the trade. And it will be Space Soldiers locking down the B site, thanks in part to Calyx's AWP.
Yeah, really nice hold there, and it should now be just an eco by AVANGAR. Yeah, you said pick apart the push there. Just try and say that over and over again. When you said it, I realized how difficult that actually is to say. Pick apart the push, pick apart the push. If you just keep saying it over and over again, you're definitely going to stumble on your words. I just thought it was a new tongue twister that you may have found. But yeah, this should be an easy enough round by Space Soldiers. We shouldn't really see them have any trouble at all with this one. AVANGAR, of course, only having pistols, not having any Kevlar and 1 smoke. Their goal right now is just try and get the bomb planted on the A bomb site, and there certainly is a chance, especially since currently Space Soldiers are going to be playing this retake setup. We see Xantares up on Catwalk, we see Paz over towards the truck, and now AVANGAR getting a move on, not really going to be starting well in their favour, as Xantares is going to be able to find 2 kills, one of those being through the smoke, and now Demon Stick and Kicker are going to be the last 2 standing, and like not only one now, as it will be all 5 players remaining alive for Space Soldiers.
And a 4K for Xantares. Even though it was only up against the pistols, good to see him find some early form, because again, he was actually bottom fragging before this round for Space Soldiers, which isn't something you see too often. Either way, heading back into round 10, AVANGAR do have a buy. It's a little bit lackluster in terms of nades, but they have got the 5 AKs at the very least. And it's also worth pointing out on the Space Soldiers side of things, I know I've been talking up Xantares, but they certainly have a lot of depth on this lineup in terms of Calyx and Paz, 2 players that can also certainly have massive maps on their day, so don't have to only rely on Xantares, but generally he is very consistent for Space Soldiers as a sort of above average player. Either way, not really coming through yet, but we'll get to see if he can step things up, because there's still plenty of time for him to do the damage. And in this round, surprisingly, Space Soldiers don't have too much mid presence. Engine is over in towards highway, so he may have to fall back, but Xantares tries to get flashed through the smoke, but it was a really nice timing from Kicker to dodge that flash. And AVANGAR already get 2 and now 3 entries. Demasic winning that duel out towards mid, and that might just be the round over and done with.
Yeah, it should be, certainly, as Paz and Calyx are left to try and clutch this one out, and they couldn't really be further away from each other, so 0 chance of a trade. We should see AVANGAR been able to pick this one up easily enough. Perhaps a couple of kills could be found for Space Soldiers, and at least try and keep the economy modest for AVANGAR, but with a 5-on-2 right now, it's looking basically impossible, and especially with Paz falling, as Calyx in a 1-on-5 has the AWP, and I don't think he'll be looking at all to try and go for this one. Should be just trying to save this, but I don't think that's even going to be easy, as AVANGAR now aware of this position. Kicker, he finds that headshot and is going to be able to pick up the AWP now to drop over to Jame in the following round.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see Space Soldiers maybe switch things up with that AWP a little bit more often, because Calyx literally every single round has gone with the AWP over towards B, and that kind of makes it easy for AVANGAR to gain mid control. They know they're very unlikely to be running into an AWP, and again, Calyx is going to go out towards the B bomb site. So I think I'd just like to see a little bit of sort of adaptation from Space Soldiers, a little bit of a switch up every now and then, because this is coming quite predictable. Having said that, this isn't predictable from Calix, this time holding a gap in the smoke, but he doesn't get the shot. And that allows Buster to capitalize with the spray through the smoke for the opening kill. He drops Calix out of the round. Maybe that was Calix getting a little bit sort of aggressive because last round they lost A so quickly. He wanted to get it done towards B, and it doesn't work out. Space Soldiers again go down a man.
Yeah, not really the ideal start into this one. AVANGAR get themselves into a good position once again, but that's a nice find. They are at least going to be able to return that one. Oh. Apologies, my game actually just froze there for a moment, so I couldn't actually tell what was going on. But Kicker finds one over towards middle. Paz going to be able to trade that back now, and maybe able to find more, but he actually peeks directly into the crosshair of James, allowing for that kill to be returned once again, and also now for the bomb to make its way on towards the A bomb site. Place nade will at least connect some damage, but it's going to be left up to Xanthar as an engine in a retake that's not really going to be very easy. They have been damaged up, they have a Molotov and a flash available, but James, he's in a good position. He'll be able to drop engine with ease, and now Xanthar is going to be the last man left standing. If you wanted anyone from Space Soldiers in this position, most people rather would choose Xanthar, but with low HP and 2 more players to find, it's going to be extremely difficult, and James just posted up, will actually be taken down. Xanthar is not aware of the final player's position, as Prison just playing for the time, as he is going to be an A main. And a great spot now is he should be peeking any moment and should be able to find this kill quite easily. And there you go, AVANGAR get themselves up to 7. Nice try on the retake for sure, but it just wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah, a couple of excellent kills from Xantares still aren't enough. He didn't have anywhere near enough time at the end of the round. And that means that AVANGAR again have the chance to extend their lead further. And this is starting to get somewhat worrying here for Space Soldiers. I said that they're going to be pretty heavy favorites heading into Cash. However, at the same time, I also did point out AVANGAR is certainly a solid Cash team. I mean, it is a bit more towards the middle of their map pool, but they certainly have a lot of skill players on their side of things. You don't really ever look to, I think, one player for AVANGAR because they're quite a sort of skill... I'd say the skill is spread between their lineup, if you like. So that means that, you know, no one necessarily stands out for AVANGAR, but they're still a very dangerous team on open maps like Cash. And we get to see that come through in spades here. Already a 7-4 lead. I guess the 2 players that I think have stepped up in this qualifier so far would be Jame and Buster. But here we go. Paz taken down low early on. We are going to see him try to fall back. However, he may be cut off over towards Squeaky. He's the only player over towards A, so this should be quite easy. And that Molotov, I don't know if the door was open, but it's going to get the kill. Xantares, though, with the D, gets one back. There is still a smoke for Buster to deploy, so that should work. 40 seconds left, and AVANGAR look to claim the site, and Jane will get that opening kill. But the rotation has come in. Doesn't seem like any kills will come out, though. Here comes the P250 to close the round. And unfortunately for Space Soldiers, even though they get back to the A site, they don't really find any frags.
Yeah, not really much to be found there by Space Soldiers. AVANGAR, they are going to have now at least a gun round to face off against finally. Space Soldiers able to get out everything they want. They have also a lot of utility, but Calix this time not going to go for the op, which I think may actually be the correct decision. He hasn't been really having a good performance with it so far in this game. 6-9. He's not the bottom of the scoreboard, but he's not really towards the top either, as he's definitely very valuable on this M4 to try and lock down the bomb sites. As right now, AVANGAR splitting up for a default, it seems. They are just going to be spreading quite far across the map. Paz is going to be the one to actually open it up onto Kickart, but luckily enough, the trade is going to be found by Prison. Major is going to fall, and then the boost coming in also by the CT side. They have, or rather, the player up in Vent. He is going to be able to hold down mid if the T's look to try and eventually take some control. That's Engine just there to support Calix if needed. There's still quite a lot of time in this round right now. AVANGAR not really in a rush to make a decision. In the 4-on-4, they'll be happy with this. Also, the HP is going to be slightly in their favour, as Paz is tagged down to 21 previously in the round. And it looks like they will just go for a split towards this A bomb site. They have one player in mid, Demasic. He's pushed up towards the white box, and they'll be able to try and crunch his way in from highway. So Engine, let's see if he's going to be able to find anything. He does push forward and does actually manage to successfully get that kill for himself. And that's going to be one avenue of attack now shut down for AVANGAR, as all 3 players trying to come from A main. But look at this, Xantares. He gets aggressive along with a flash. And that allows for at least 1 kill to be found, and a Molotov to go down to delay this push even further.
And with 37 seconds left. The time shouldn't be a massive issue, but the trades will be, because Krizen now is the only man left. He's so low on health. The engine is always going to win that fight. And Space Soldiers get up to their 5th round on the board. Having said that, AVANGAR have been pretty much in control of this map for the most part in terms of the money, and that is proven here. They still get a strong buy, whereas Space Soldiers might have a couple of players forced down to a few missing nades. Nothing massive, though, in terms of issues in their buy. And here we go, round 14. The loser of this one will have very little money for the last round of the half. So you could argue this round almost counts as 2, and Paz gets flashed into a main. Such incredible aggression coming out, but it does work well. They get the first kill, and Paz can now fall back with the incendiary up, but oh no, it hasn't gone far enough. That allows James to sit back behind the flames and get the trade. A little unfortunate for Paz there. The incendiary not quite well placed enough, and it's just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, that trade though will be usually favouring AVANGAR. Does usually favour the T side when they're able to bring it down to a 4-on-4. They should be at least moderately happy with being able to get that 1 kill out of it. As now, let's see what they decide to go for later in this round. But actually, they immediately go for the boost up towards mid. Krizen, he'll be able to drop Engine, who is snugly packed in there towards the sandbags, but not able to really get anything done from that position. And now with a 1-man disadvantage, Space Soldiers, they're spread so thinly across the map. 1 player towards A, 1 on B, and it's actually just going to be Calix playing quite passively in towards CT, waiting to see if anyone tries to come up through connector. And just AVANGAR now in a really good position. If they regroup and hit one of these bomb sites together, as long as they find that trade, as long as no one steps it up massively from Space Soldiers, we should see them being able to take this round for themselves and increase the lead even further. But I like this. Space Soldiers, they're taking a bit of a gamble. It may be the correct decision, even with some presence being shown towards B. They do look to go back towards the A bomb site, and that's where the bomb currently is going to be. 18 seconds now remains. Calix, let's see if he's going to be able to get anything done. Also has Xanthars above to try and support, but a nice pop flash will for the moment at least blind them up. Xanthars finds 1, Calix finds the trade successfully, and now it's the 2-on-2, which goes back in favour of the D side, but there's no time, but it doesn't matter. Krizen takes down Major, and a bit of a mistake perhaps by Space Soldiers to even peek.
Yeah, I think one of the kills happened in the midst of the smoke, so that's kind of just nothing Space Soldiers can do about that one. But the second player was fighting out towards A main there, and that allowed AVANGAR to take yet another round. And as I was saying earlier, that means that heading into the last round of the half, Space Soldiers have a very limited buy, at least in terms of weaponry. It's only really pistols to play with. They have got the Deegs, so they can afford to fight at long range, and Paz nearly gets the chance to pull the trigger, but James manages to spot him out with the AWP for the first kill. Molotov going to go out. The mid presence should go the way of AVANGAR, and it won't be too difficult for them to close this one out unless some incredible shots are landed. Calix is looking like he wants to get into a fight, but that smoke will deny him. So AVANGAR just hold on to the man advantage. By the looks of things now, group up towards A, with Kickert getting the bomb back to go towards that A side of the map.
Oh, nice shot by Xanthars, though. Takes down James, and that's a pretty decent start. Oh my god, Xanthars is able to take down Sick. If he wins this one against Krizen, it could get dangerous. The jump by Krizen, he will eventually be able to take himself that kill either way. On a 3-on-3, it's looking a bit scary, but Krizen, he'll be stepping it up now to make sure that this round will go back in favour of AVANGAR as they get control of the A-bomb site. They should be able to get this plant down with ease, and now in a 2-on-2 retake with only pistols and low HP on the Major, Space Soldiers, they're going to be struggling to take this one. It is, of course, the final round of this half, and with Major finding that kill coming in on the flank, it's looking likely Buster now going to be the last man standing left to try and clutch this one out. The AK in the hands of Major, he is low HP, and Calix only with a deagle to work with, so Buster, let's see if he's going to be able to find this. If he can force the one-on-one, it's looking likely. He gets the first, but he will be caught off guard. It doesn't matter. He spins back and gets the kill onto Calix, and AVANGAR, they make their way into double digits in this first half.
Oh, AVANGAR managed to get that round at the end by the skin of their teeth. 20 HP at the end for Buster. And Calix came quite close with the Desert Eagle. I think he landed only the 1 shot, though. So that meant that there was just about enough time for Buster to go for the spray down. Didn't exactly feel convincing, but AVANGAR will be very, very happy with just getting 10 rounds on the boards. And now, at this point, Space Soldiers, they really do need to win this pistol round. Remember, if they lose this map, their Katowice dreams are dead. And they are going to need to make sure they don't fall too far behind here. So this pistol round is huge now for Space Soldiers. They are going to get the P250 for Xantares, and he was starting to look a little bit more on point as that half played out. 15 kills at the end, so with that P250, we'll get to see if he can find some longer range headshots to start the round. The Space Soldiers look to, by the looks of things, go for some mid-presence. One player boosted up, Xantares in towards Garage, and for the time being, AVANGAR have 3 players stacked towards B.
Yeah, and just playing this A retake setup, it is something that you very commonly see on Cash, and just putting one player at the truck. Usually that player will have the kit, but it's actually going to be Jame right now. He's over towards Connector instead. I guess Kickard wanting that Kevlar to work with. The only problem is if a player comes out door, they can usually get onto the site for free, and with Major finding that kill on mid, being able to claim himself a USP, and also drop the defuse kit, this could get difficult, as the A-bomb site is now just going to be completely swarmed by terrorists, and it's going to be up to the player from Cart to try and get 1 or 2 kills out of this to give a bit of an easier chance in the retake. And through the smoke, he actually connects the dink. The USP at that range brings Xantares down to 1 HP, but it's Major now once again to step it up massively. He continues to take the fight towards Connector, and it's going in his favour, as he is just shutting this one down. Engine with the Glock getting up close. We'll be able to find that kill with the 3-round burst, and now Demasic is the last man left standing. They are going to be hunting him down, which could be a mistake. The chance will be found, but Xantares, he trades that back from middle with the P250. And Space Soldiers, they take a much-needed pistol round.
Yeah, I could absolutely feel Xantares' pain as he got dinked through that smoke down to 1 HP. But I guess the only sort of benefit or positive he can take from it is that the USP didn't fully finish him off, managing to, at the very least, stay alive, and the rest of the teammates managed to get the job done for him. So even though the P250 didn't do too much, it was the rest of the Glocks to get the damage done. Now Space Soldiers just need to make sure that they don't lose against this buy from AVANGAR here, because they have gone for the force buy as you would expect. Jame has a scout in hand, which is somewhat surprising. He might have wanted to save for that AWP early, and he still has $800 in the bank. So may be able to do so, although it is a little bit debatable as to whether he could afford that AWP. Either way, AVANGAR have got the 4A stack right now. The flash in towards A main looking good, but don't get the kills to follow up. I think the CZs there just didn't have enough ammo to get the full spray down in, and it looks as though Space Soldiers should be able to take the site. Buster gets the 1 kill, nearly the second, but not going to connect. The Space Soldiers do close out the round win convincingly.
Yeah, as expected. It'll now just be a full eco coming in from the Kazakhstan side, and the money that they have left over, it's not really amazing. Jame, you see, he actually has 2,700. He will be getting 2,400 on top of that, so if he wants to get the off, he will be most likely just going glass cannon, which won't really be ideal. But into this one now, let's see if they'll be able to at least get anything done. While we have a moment, I am going to go ahead and tell everyone that there is a giveaway being done on this channel. It will be a giveaway for a Flip Knife Blue Steel, and it will be given away on Sunday after the grand finals of this tournament, and it will be for subs. So if you want to go ahead and get yourself in with a chance to try and win that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And also it does, of course, help support eFrag to bring you more content like this in the future, as it will now be towards middle. A bit of a stack coming in on highway by the CT side, which maybe could find some damage. But as I say that, with terrorists making their way onto A, Calix finds a couple. It's at least going to be found for a AVANGAR, but should be closed out now by Xantares, as he eventually manages to tap that head away from Kickard.
Yeah, now AVANGAR could go for the AWP on towards Jame in this buy. However, he would have to skimp on the Kevlar and only get 1 or 2 nades. He decides it is worth the risk, though. So James going to go for the AWP and the smoke. And here we go. AVANGAR back up to a buy. Space Soldiers have some money built up, but their balance books aren't looking perfect. And AVANGAR on the gun round again are going to stack 3 players towards B. It's certainly easier to retake the A site, but this is still somewhat of a risk, because right now, if Space Soldiers went for this quick A push, they would likely be able to gain control of the site without too much of a defense. You can see now Kicker playing all the way back from truck. This could get a little bit dicey for AVANGAR if they continue to stick 3 players towards B in this round. And you can already see, I mean, right now, A is completely exposed because Jame is coming over with the AWP. However, it's unlikely he's going to be able to get anything done. If they go for the A push here, Space Soldiers will likely just smoke him off. And I don't know if AVANGAR can get this done. Again, playing a very passive retake setup.
Yeah, it's going to be perhaps up to a bit of luck there for Jame to maybe try and find 1 kill through the smoke as they do cross. As it's looking extremely likely for this hit to come in towards A. We do see also Major in towards mid, and if he's taken down perhaps a decent position for a Vanguard, being able to claim the one-man advantage, and there you go, Kickert, he gets that kill. 5-on-4, that's providing Prison doesn't get taken down, and never mind, Jame able to drop Xanthars, and the bomb will be denied. Prison pushing forward, doing a great job, will eventually fall, but he's done his role, and indeed, as Paz and Calyx return it, but it's going to be Paz left to try and clutch this one out, and Kickert above the box is going to be able to take him down. And a Vanguard, you mentioned that was going to be very difficult, but when you're able to get that opening kill on mid and kind of make the terrorists panic a little bit, I guess they felt they were kind of forced to commit into the bomb site then, and a Vanguard just capitalised on that and were able to win out the aim duels.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see just how willing a Vanguard are to play these retake setups, even on multiple maps. But if they can get their retakes sort of to work out most of the time, then there's no reason not to. And that time around, the retake worked very, very well. And having that man advantage, as you were saying, certainly makes a big difference in terms of that. Jame also managed to get a kill over towards Forklift. I think it may have been through the smoke. I wasn't exactly sure, but Xanthars was taken down. So that clearly made a big difference. And Jame will be looking for even further success on the AWP because he is going out towards mid. Space Soldiers have a fair few players boosted up, and Jame holding doesn't connect. He gets chunked down to 14 HP, but at the very least gets away with his life.
Paz, going to be able to take down Demasik though. Talking in terms of the HP, and Calyx actually drops Kickert up on top of the boost and gets himself another onto Jame. A Vanguard, this round is just completely falling apart, and it's not looking to improve at all as Xanthars takes himself another, or rather takes himself a first into this round, another for Space Soldiers, and now it's just going to be up the bus there to try and clutch this one out. Gets the first headshot, with 4 more players to find and only 22 points of HP to do so. This should now be the round in favour of Space Soldiers, even with the bomb yet to be planted. It would be a bit of a miracle if we somehow saw Buster pulling this one off. But for now, he is just going to be around mid. It seems like Space Soldiers are happy enough with perhaps even hunting for this one. They don't want to allow this AK to be saved into the following round, and let's see if he's going to be found. Xanthars just creeping forward. We'll check the corner, and we'll also find the kill. So Space Soldiers get themselves up to 9. A Vanguard taking that one round previously, but doing so only 3 players alive means that after reinvesting, they don't have a lot of economy left now. So they have been reset. They will be facing an eco. Prison even looking towards a double eco, as it's not a good position for a Vanguard. Space Soldiers now in a good spot to maybe even try and equalise the scoreline.
Well, Overpass was incredibly close. That went the distance, all the way to 30 rounds. And it was a Vanguard who just about closed it out 16-14. It looks like this map could also be a very, very close one. Space Soldiers looking likely to be able to take us back to a very, very close scoreline. And the Vanguard, as you were saying, with just a full eco here, do decide to take a gamble. Certainly what I would expect. When you only have the default pistols, I think it's absolutely worth taking a risk. And Demasik has pushed into a main, but yeah, even with the dink, Xanthars will take him down. It's always frustrating when you get the dink with the USP, because you know maybe if you'd have bought a Deeg or a P250, there's a better chance of you getting the kill. That doesn't happen this time around. Having said that, that might bait the push in towards this A site here, and Vanguard do have the 5-man stack, or the 4-man stack, now that one of their teammates has fallen. Having said that, though, yeah, the AKs just absolutely overwhelm A. Nothing to be done for a Vanguard.
Yeah, exactly as expected, though. I didn't really imagine that Vanguard were going to be able to find much out of that round, and once again, as I said, it was looking to be a double eco for a Vanguard, and indeed it is going to be. There is a small investment, at least into this round. They're able to get some pistols out. They're able to get Kevlar onto Demasik, but up against the full rifles from Space Soldiers, it should be the scoreline being equalised at 11-11. Unless some great players are pulled off with these pistols, of course. But let's see what's going to be done. As right now, Space Soldiers, knowing that they're up against a weaker buy once again, or at least they should be aware that it is a possibility, they are just going to be holding the default, and a Vanguard taking a gamble themselves. They are going to be stacking towards the B bomb site. They did originally have Kickert up towards A, but it looks like he even will now begin to make his way back to join his teammates. The Space Soldiers not really putting too much presence over towards B, just that one player. Looks like they will try and maybe get some control towards middle, and when they've been doing this in the past, they've been favouring that A split, so that should allow them to get that site for free, and I don't think much is really going to happen now for a Vanguard in this round once again.
Yeah, Space Soldiers will take their sweet, sweet time. However, eventually they are likely to bring that bomb over towards the A site. I don't really see a reason as to why they go back at this point. They have almost no presence up towards B. So there's no reason for them to go back there. There are loads of close angles they would have to deal with, and they will indeed now commit to the A site push. Fortunately for AVANGAR, the stack this time around, where they have a little more investment, isn't quite correct. Having said that, Major could get caught if he's not careful. Does go down, but Xantares has his back. Gets a couple of kills out towards mid, and a very quick third makes things look easy in this round. Only Jame left alive. And we'll get to see AVANGAR's buy into this next round, because remember, they did double eco here. So they will absolutely have a proper full buy into this upcoming round, but it is at the cost of allowing Space Soldiers to tie up the scoreline.
Yeah, 11-11 now. Of course, as you mentioned before, the previous map was also extremely close, so by no means is this going to be over. We saw Space Soldiers looking like they were in a position to get the comeback on the previous one also, and then AVANGAR just ended up closing that out. Thanks to a bit of help from Space Soldiers, of course, we saw a bit of a hectic round coming in where Calyx got a team kill, Paz actually took himself out, and AVANGAR somehow took that one, and that allowed the 16-14 scoreline. But in this one now, let's see which way it's going to go. The buy will be coming out for both sides. AVANGAR, they're actually going to be going for this double up setup. Buster usually takes this towards the B bomb site. JM, he's a bit more versatile and can swap it up, but let's see where he's going to go ahead and take it, as looks like right now it will be towards mid, just positioning himself towards the connector perhaps, as Space Soldiers now. Let's see what they go for into this round. Will they keep this default, or will we see a bit of a faster paced round is the main question, as it looks like we could see something faster towards the A bomb site, where once again AVANGAR, they aren't really putting a lot of their players over towards this side of the map. It's only really Kickered in position. As I say that though, actually, he will have a couple of players joining them. I guess some noise has been heard. Maybe Space Soldiers making their presence known. And it will be the execute now coming in rather. HP going to be going in favour of the CT side eventually. Demasic, he's going to be spraying them down. Doesn't get the turret, but Kickert will be the one to find it. And now Major trades that back once again. 2-on-2. HP slightly in favour of AVANGAR. He's got in the hands of Buster in a pretty good position. But as I say, that prison is going to get taken down. And now it's a one-on-one. Xantares up against Buster. The bomb down in the open. The flash works though. It doesn't actually allow him to retrieve the bomb. He misses it. Tried to jump into position and now it gets awkward. Buster, let's see if he's going to be able to find this one with the off. If he misses, he's in a very bad situation, but he won't do so. He will be able to connect that with ease. And AVANGAR reclaim their lead.
Oh, you've got a feel for Xantares there. He did so well. He placed the flash perfectly. He tried to get the bomb and then just slightly messes up the movement. And he did it very quickly as well. That's why it was so impressive. That doesn't work out. Either way, AVANGAR only saved the one gun, so this buy is certainly weakened. They only get the one AWP this time around. And I think we do also have to point out, I said earlier I was looking for Xantares to step up for Space Soldiers on this map. He was a little bit quiet back on Overpass, and I was saying I think Cash will be a map where he can have much more success. That has clearly been proven. He is leading the way with 27 kills on Space Soldiers thus far. So Xantares certainly having a good time of things, but Space Soldiers still one round behind, even with that impressive performance. They're going to go for the mid-presence early, but Calyx gets caught off guard in towards a main. Kickert now can go aggressive, and this cuts off one side of the push. They were going to try and split towards A, but Kickert is going in the smoke. He does get caught out, so now Engine has a main control, but Jame is still towards the back of the site. The AWP might get spotted out, and Paz holds the angle. 2v3 quickly turned into a 1v3. Engine gets the first kill, and he does have a smoke, but he's so low on health here, it's going to be very difficult to clutch.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult indeed. There is still a Molotov available, but it doesn't look like they're going to use it. They will just try and push up together, ensure that the trade comes in, and they won't even need to do so. Buster able to find that kill with ease, of course, with already that player being quite heavily tagged up. So AVANGAR getting themselves a second round in a row, taking this lead 13-11, and this map looking a bit similar to the previous. Space Soldiers, they get so close on the comeback, and then AVANGAR are able to reclaim control once again. This time it's thanks to their own play, as they have just stepped it up over these past couple of rounds, but Space Soldiers, they still have economy. They were able to build that up quite strong, so it's not going to be AVANGAR yet taking full control, and with surviving on only 2 players, they are going to be struggling maybe to get the perfect buyout into this one. Demasic once again relegated to the FAMAS, but other than that, it is a pretty solid one, and no up for Space Soldiers right now.
Yeah, they could have gone for one. Engine still has $4,750 left in the bank. Either way, we might be seeing some action in towards B, because AVANGAR have plenty of players stacked here. They go for the aggression, but Engine finds a double spray down thanks to the well-placed flash. Jane is still here. He gets the first shot, and that is going to stop the push out towards B. But in the meantime, Xantares finds one frag towards mid. However, he is caught off guard by Kickert. So a very, very frantic start to the round. Goes back to a 2v2. Now, the kicker is playing very passively. He's back towards Truck. And in fact, he's just going to straight up concede the ace site by the looks of things, especially with that smoke coming in.
Yeah, looks like it is just going to be a retake now that'll have to come in. Kicker, he's actually was originally facing this. Calyx, after spotting him out, decides to just spam through the smoke. That works in his favor as he gets himself that kill quite easily. So Paz now going to be, or rather, not Paz, James going to be the last man standing up against Paz and Calyx. And it's going to be a difficult retake, especially with the up, with no defuse kit. Looking likely that Space Soldiers may be able to get themselves this round and break the economy of AVANGAR. So James going to just go ahead and back off, try and save this. And I think they're actually going to be looking towards the double eco in the upcoming round. So Space Soldiers getting themselves back into a really solid position right now, late into this half.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, even though Space Soldiers were quite big favorites in this series, and they haven't really been able to take any convincing maps yet, I don't think it's due to them playing poorly. I think AVANGAR have just stepped up really quite well, especially here on Cash. I mean, Xantares is still going off, and this map is still very close. But as you were saying, AVANGAR in a pretty poor position in terms of their economy. We'll get to see what their sort of money will be like for the next round. However, as you were saying as well, they don't have that losing bonus built up, so it's a really, really tough spot for AVANGAR to be in. They will be hoping that James can have a miraculous performance with the AWP and win them this round, but I don't know how likely that is. They are going to line him up for the flash peek in towards A main, but there is no one from Space Soldiers there. They have currently got 4 players leaning towards B. There are the pistols towards the B site for AVANGAR though, so they could potentially play some close angles and maybe find some frags. And the push comes through the smoke, so Demasic is going to get a kill. The frags do come through for AVANGAR. It's still back to a 3 versus 4, but Space Soldiers need to find these frags quickly because James is here with the AWP, and he's going to get that frag. 3v2 for AVANGAR now.
Yeah, still Buster in the back of the bomb site. Also, only has the CZ available, of course. They should also be aware that he could be in this position, but JM once again steps it up. Just as the smoke goes down, he will be able to find it. That means it's all going to be up to Xantares now, the man that is the one that you would want in this position. He gets the first kill. He's aware that JM is towards CT, but will he be cautious of this flank now, as we do see Kickard actually wrapping around, and with those footsteps being heard, JM now knows what's going on. He's going to be able to make his way back, or at least he should be able to. It seems like they are questioning the decision making, and because of that, perhaps a chance could be found. But Xantares is playing this as safe as possible. Knowing there's an up available, knowing it's possible that he could be positioned over towards the truck, he will instead go towards door, which should give him an easy access towards the bomb site. And the bomb being planted. Just need to see both players of AVANGAR sticking together and ensuring that they can find this trade, as it will be the flank now coming in, and it doesn't matter. Kickard, he'll be able to take that one down with the Deagle. And AVANGAR, with what was basically a full eco, other than a couple of upgraded pistols on the op being saved, they're able to actually pull this one back. And now Space Soldiers, they are going to go down by 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's not awful for Space Soldiers in terms of their money, but they do now have a 2-round deficit they have to overcome. And considering how late we are into this second half, that is a considerable scoreline. At this point, a 2-round lead is certainly a decent one, and it looks as though it is Space Soldiers who have called for the pause here. I think they'll be kind of discussing maybe what they want to do in this upcoming round. I hope they're not talking about why that previous round went wrong, because there were certainly mistakes there from Space Soldiers. I don't think they should have pushed through the smoke, but that's not something they can dwell on at this point. They just have to look forward to this gun round. Still, certainly chances for them. And remember, it's a spot at IEM Katowice up for grabs in this qualifier, in these playoffs. And if Space Soldiers lose this map here, their Katowice chances will be completely gone. So they certainly need to pull their fingers out and make sure they don't lose this round. You can see the money on both teams as well. This round really means so much. Round 27 here could be the decisive one.
Yeah, certainly. They will be able to get a solid buyout on both sides. Of course, AVANGAR taking that previous one will put them in a really good position. Space Soldiers been able to get the AKs out at least. They have 5 rifles. They have also a lot of utility to work with other than onto Major, who just puts a bit of presence towards B. Throws that cross smoke out so that Space Soldiers are at least showing that they could be just going for that default that we've seen in the past. But it looks like right now they will favour towards A, and Demasic, along with a great pop flash, will be able to get a double headshot spray down. Engine will return 1, but that's going to be it. Demasic stepping it up when it's needed for AVANGAR, as it's completely fallen apart. Space Soldiers are all down to Engine. He already has himself 1 kill into this round, but only 15 HP to try and clutch a 1-on-4. And he needs to get that ace clutch if he wants to be able to stop AVANGAR from being able to take map point and, of course, serious point.
Yeah, and AVANGAR seem to have a quite cool and somewhat unique style for their CT side. Oftentimes, they will just stack 3 players towards one side of the map early on. This time, it was literally 4 players all committed towards A. And obviously, when that stack sort of gets the right decision, gets the right call, you're almost certainly going to get the round win. And that works for them this time around. It's Demasik with a quad kill. And I do think we also need to mention Demasik. Remember, he had a really poor performance back on Overpass, and yet he has certainly stepped it up here on Cash, managing to reset himself for this second map. And AVANGAR now are on the verge of upsetting everyone. I was thinking AVANGAR have a chance in the series, but I was absolutely not expecting them to be able to take Cash, and they're looking good to be able to do so.
Oh yeah, extremely good and extremely plausible right now. As Space Soldiers, they still have a chance to try and bring this one back. It's only 3 rounds in a row that's needed for overtime. That is something that you see every single day playing CS. We've probably seen 3 rounds chained together so many times throughout this game. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times already teams have been able to claim 3 rounds in a row. So that's all Space Soldiers need. They can certainly do that. They don't have the best buy, but importantly, they do have Xanteris with the AK in his hands, and he has been having a great game. Currently 29-17 on that scoreboard, leading, I believe, the entire server by quite a decent amount. 7 kills above Demasik, who you pointed out. So let's see if they're going to be able to step it up now in this round. The Space Soldiers, once again, are going to be going for a bit of a default, with most of their presence focused over towards A main. Just going to be Major once again, at least showing some presence towards B, using a bit of utility, I believe that was. Or rather, that was actually Paz, my bad. But yeah, they are now going to be making their way back towards A, where AVANGAR, as you mentioned before, they're happy enough with just playing for these retakes. And so far, I guess you can't really fault them. It's worked a lot of the time. Let's see if it's going to work once again, as Space Soldiers, it looks like they will be getting a move on quite soon. They have that utility available. They have the smokes, flashes, and also a Molotov to try and clear out one of the positions on the bomb site. But right now, AVANGAR just hanging back and hoping to maybe try and take a couple of kills as the T's make their way onto the bomb site.
Here we go. It's now or never for Space Soldiers. The push is going to come in. AVANGAR again playing passively, but Kickert has got 1 kill through the smoke. So the bomb gets its way on towards the site. The bomb will now go down. And it is planted somewhat open, but Space Soldiers not going in towards A main just yet. Xantares is holding from Forklift with that 1 AK. But James here with the AWP might be favoured in this long-range fight. The Incendiary looks quite well placed. Xantares may be forced out. Indeed he is, but the counter flashes work really well to allow him to get to safety. Just as I say that, though, Buster's going to get a kill. AVANGAR fragging out. Its only engine left. He will fall, and AVANGAR have managed to pull it off. It's a 2-0 for AVANGAR in the series. And let's go back to the desk, because they're going to have to break that one down for us.
I would say this was probably one of the bigger upsets we kind of did not expect here in the studio. Farmskins, of course, welcome to the analyst desk. And guys, I mean, what to say, we thought that Space Soldiers maybe have a chance of qualifying for IEM, but AVANGAR, a lot better than we thought. I mean, not to take anything away from them, they definitely looked kind of shaky in group stage, in Group B. But bringing this W here in playoffs definitely means a lot for the players. They are now in semifinals, so a lot of course to play for. And congrats to them. I mean, they won on Overpass, a really close map. Again, Cash, really decisive rounds going in the way of AVANGAR, especially that eco round they just won. So let's break it down. Danny, we'll start with you. I mean, from the start, once again, AVANGAR having a really good performance. Once again, maybe Quickert, yeah, not being once again the best player on the server, but Dima, on the other hand, had a lot better game. What can we, well, or let's say it like this: what went wrong for Space Soldiers?
Well, for Space Soldiers in the second half, they tried to play some mind tricks with AVANGAR. They were constantly going towards A site, but AVANGAR was, I mean, they were just playing for that retake. Jamie was at the car with AWP, Quickert was on B, on A highway, watching for that squeaky doors. And I have to say that Space Soldiers were having really bad post-plant game. I mean, they throw all utilities towards site, smoking cars, smoking even Heaven, Catwalk, however you want to call it. but AVANGAR was just waiting for them, and they had utilities ready for that retake. They had mollies for B main, for quad, for forklift, and that made them easy to get that defuse. But on the other hand, as I expected, I mean, I was expecting Dima to wake up. He was really underwhelming on the overpass, but seems like he has woken up and played a really good game.
Yeah, maybe that push from main when he got quad kill definitely means a lot to AVANGAR, especially after that. I think they were, at that point, I think they won the map itself when they pushed main and Dima got four kills there, but also that eco round they won.
That eco round with the AWP save from Jane.
Yeah, that definitely kind of demolished Space Soldiers in a way and put momentum back towards AVANGAR, right?
Yeah, I mean when you win eco round, it's you're on the horse, right?
Yeah.
You saved your money, you get weapons. I mean, it's not same if you just win. They were able to save AK and AWP for that round. It's a lot of money. I mean, it's a bad decision from in-game leader of Space Soldiers to push through smoke to do. I mean, why you go be? You know their eco. They have one up. Okay, wait for the throw mollies to the checker room, vent room, however you want to call it, and just smoke spawn, smoke upper heaven, and just go inside. Don't run through smokes. They tried there. They were stuck 3 guys on B, and that's it. That round particularly won the match for the AVANGAR.
Yeah, that's why I like the G2 approach towards the B site when they smoke off heaven and CT and molly whole site, basically headshot, triple box, and right in front of triple, and you can't really hide anywhere when you need only 3 mollies for that, so it's not that big of a deal, and pretty easy entrance to the site as well, of course. But yeah, congrats to AVANGAR. Unfortunately for Space Soldiers, they're out of Farmskins Katowice qualifiers, so they will probably have a lot of chances to qualify for next one, maybe next year, who knows. A lot of tournaments going on this year. If I remember correctly, we have like 12 tournaments until June, so
a lot of games,
or July. So a lot of tournaments, a lot of games as well for professional teams. And Space Soldiers, I believe that can go back stronger, as our cliche stands here in studio. And of course qualify for maybe another event. But congrats once again to AVANGAR. They move on to semi-finals, and they are waiting to see, of course, winner of MOUZ Sports and MANS Not Hot. That's next match of the day. Of course, once again, best of 3. That match will start around 7 p.m. CST. We are going for a short commercial break. Also, don't forget to visit farmskins.com and maybe get yourself one of the cases that are currently off sale, or on sale, sorry, 90% off. And also subscribe to Ifrag TV, because they are giving away a flip knife blue steel field tested. You have a chance to win it, of course, if you just subscribe to channel, and winner is chosen on Sunday after grand final of Farmskins Championship. So good luck to all of you. We are going for a break, so we'll see you shortly. Hello and welcome once again, ladies and gents, to Farmskins Championship Season 2, also a qualifier for IEM Katowice. I'm Ram and I will be your host for today, and together with me in studio, Danny and Hogar. Hello once again, guys.
Hi.
So we have second match of the day between MOUZ Sports and MANS Not Hot. Pretty interesting match, of course, seeing all the rumors that are currently holding against MOUZ Sports and Stico situation, but we'll see which is the lineup for MOUZ Sports. And you can see here playoff single elimination bracket, of course, best of 3. AVANGAR managed to win 2-0 against Space Soldiers, so they are now in the semi-final, and they are waiting to see if they are going to play against MOUZ Sports or MANS Not Hot. We can take a look at MOUZ Sports lineup as well, and we can start talking about them. I mean, we read a couple of rumors regarding MOUZ Sports and of course regarding Stico as well, but seems like he's still playing in the team, and that can mean a lot for them, especially if they want to qualify for IEM and continue like to play like they did, right?
Yeah, same lineup. Lineup is always good. I mean, don't change a player when you have one, not, I would say not success, but you were playing major, you were that close to the playoffs. I mean, to continue. So I mean, if you did well, just stay, practice a lot, and that's it. Results will come.
Yeah, of course. On the other side, waiting for them is MANS Not Hot. So, of course, MANS Not Hot surprised us the most, I would say, even though we kind of expected them to move out of groups. They managed to win against Vindigo and to move through. And here is their lineup: so Asilian, Esperanto, Nuki, Nexa, and Tensky. Pretty interesting lineup, all things considered. Everyone, basically, every player here has a really big individual skill, really huge individual skill, and everyone can perform. If some of them or some of those players lacks in performance on one map, you can probably rely on another one. But probably the player that impressed us the most was Nuki, after joining, of course, MANS Not Hot after Kalinka left the team. And Danny, what do you think? Do they have all the ingredients to take on MOUZ Sports?
Yeah, I do think I do think they have, but still MOUZ Sports is playing in the current lineup for so long, and MANS Not Hot is practically, let's say, new team, your newish team. I think they formed somewhere in, help me out, maybe somewhere in the end of the last year, something like that.
Yeah, that will be probably correct.
Yeah, but still, they have a great firepower. They managed to win against Windigo, even though we thought that Windigo might be a stronger team. But still, they have an amazing result. So even though MOUZ Sports is more experienced team, and in terms of playing on majors and bigger tournaments than this one, I mean, not this one, but let's say Nations Elite Esports when we did that one, even though MANS Not Hot didn't play on that one. But still, MANS Not Hot have what it takes to win on this matchup.
Of course, maybe their map pool is a bit of a problem going on against MOUZ Sports, because going into major, I presume that MOUZ Sports prepared a lot of maps and they can still surprise us here. And of course, they're the favorites of this matchup. So we can take a look at map veto as well, so we see which maps are going to be played. So MOUZ Sports bans Cash, MANS Not Hot banning Nuke, MOUZ Sports picking Overpass, MANS Not Hot picking Mirage, MOUZ Sports banning Inferno, MANS Not Hot banning Cobble, and Decider will be Thrain. Pretty interesting map choice. I mean, Overpass as first map now for MOUZ Sports, I would say they have an edge on Overpass, because, as we said, they're a team for quite a while. We remember them when they won ESG Tour Mykonos back in September. They were on a roll, won against Liquid in final. After that, maybe a lack of results, but ECS final, of course, in Cancun, Season 4, they played best of 5 against FaZe, went to all 5 maps, and they performed quite well. So even though maybe they didn't reach semifinals or finals on major, they still are a tough contender here in Farmskins Championship. So Now, Hogar, after you see the maps, what do you think? Who takes this one?
MOUZ Sports has an edge because Overpass is really team map, and you really need to have your rotation on point when you play it, especially when you play against somebody who's experienced like players on MOUZ Sports. And I don't think MANS and Hot they can't beat them on the Overpass only because firepower. They have firepower, but on MOUZ, Oscar, Stico, the Chris J is the worst aimer there, but he's also very good. So I mean, in that kind of sense, they have the edge to beat them on the Overpass, right?
Yeah, I mean, Chris J is in-game leading as well, so with a bit of help from
and he's
their
a second
coach.
opper, right?
And the thing is, as far as I know, their coach used to do a lot of work for them in terms of preparation, so maybe they prepared for MANS Not Hot, who knows, even though they are the favorites, and you would say, okay, they don't need to prepare for them, but you never know. Everyone can surprise you. We thought that Space Soldiers got 2-0 against AVANGAR, and they get 2-0 back, so... of course, CS is at that point that everyone can win against everyone, I would say, especially online. And in terms of preparation, you need it. But Danny, now let's talk with you. What do you think after those maps, seeing Overpass, then Mirage, then Train? If it comes to Train, do you think that that MOUZ Sports has this one?
Yeah, but still, I think MOUZ Sports will win on Overpass. I mean, I'm sure they will win because it's not one of the better maps for MANS Not Hot. And I still think that MANS Not Hot have some chances on Mirage. They're basically good on that one, especially Esperanto with AVP. He is performing really well on that map, but if it goes 1-1, and we see third map, it's going to be quite close, but maybe I will cheer up for MOUZ Sports just because they're more experienced and they practiced on Train just because of Major.
Is Esperanto still playing AWP after Nuki joined?
I think he's...
I actually don't, but we'll see, of course. The next question I wanted to ask is, can any of them, either Esperanto or Nuki, go against Oscar with AWP? Because we know that Oscar is pretty nuts when it comes to opping, especially if he gets it rolling from the beginning. What do you think, Hogar? Can anyone stop him if he goes on a roll?
Yeah, I mean, we saw young prodigies like Smuya playing good with Op. So, I mean, either of them, when you're younger and more, I would say, less experienced, that you're eager to pick and play aggressive. So maybe you can surprise Oscar with that kind of approach to game. And another thing, I mean, the thing MOUZ has two potentially very good oppers. Oscar, Chris J. Chris J was primary opper before he joined in the team. So, I mean, he's also pretty good opper. He was playing from 1.6 with op, and he really knows the angle. He's good CT defensive opper. So, yeah, they will have problem with their MOUZ Sports oppers, but I think they can challenge them. Just to play ballsy, as we like to say, and just to play aggressive, they can win it.
Yeah, also a thing to talk about is Rops. He's a young prodigy as well, came through FPL, then picked up MOUZ Sports is his first professional team. And he's been at majors, he's done everything, won ESG. I mean, with that kind of a, let's say, experience coming into MOUZ Sports, you would expect, yeah, he was definitely wrecking everyone on FPL, and then they decided to pick him up. And now seems like basically every pro player is praising him that he's so young, but he's so calm in stressful situations. He's handling them really well. And maybe that's the thing MOUZ Sports has, like secret ingredient that Robs can step up at any point of map and bring that map home, right? Yeah,
they called him onliner, right? Before he never played the LAN before, and he proved himself on the LAN. I mean, he showed pretty big for his team, and nobody can say that anymore. And it's important when you have in team one guy who is always calm. You need that one guy to relax other guys, even if it's youngest and newest addition to the team. You just need that one guy who will calm the nerves. I mean, Chris J is old, right? Like we are. I am. So maybe.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah. In that case, I mean, you're losing your nerves and your temper when you lose matches. I mean, against I would say, not unknown, but unknown players for him, right? So I mean, he's for such a long time on the scene. So you really need that one guy, and I mean, Robs will be gonna maybe top 5 next year.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at Major, do you think that jump from Sunny on Nuke still haunts him while he sleeps?
Maybe not him, but the rest of the team, yeah, for sure. I mean,
yeah, they fortunately for them, MANS Not Hot banned that Nuke. I mean, they probably expected MOUZ Sports to pick that one even.
yeah.
And when you see MOUZ Sports going head-to-head against FaZe and
On Nuke, yeah.
yeah, and practically sweating FaZe until that 30th round, you definitely don't want to play them on that map, of course. And a good choice by MANS Not Hot. I mean, even though if they lose Overpass, they still have a chance on Mirage, but Mirage is pretty good map for MOUZ Sports as well. Sunny plays really well on Mirage together with Oscar, with AWP. It's going to be tough, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Of course, let's talk a bit about MANS Not Hot, so we don't be all mouse, yeah. All rats. So yeah, let's talk about Nexa and his friends in MANS Not Hot. They still don't have an organization, even though I think they definitely need one. They show that they have skill, they have everything they need to be, let's say, tier 2 team for now, tier 3 maybe, because every single game they play, you can see them improving game after game, right? And this is a big test for them to see if they can match against MOUZ Sports in best of 3 then.
Was that the question?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're all playing really good. As you said, playing better and better after each game. It's quite nice to see how they are like improving their teamwork when they played against, let's say, Windigo, when they played against, who was in Group B? It was Windigo, it was MANS Not Hot, it was Team Ago, or no, it's Ago, it was in A. Two more from Enjoy and
Godsend.
Red Reserve.
Red Reserve?
No, Red Reserve was in.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter, but they're coming really huge. They're going to be a huge team one day if they find their organization, and we shall hope for that to be soon.
Yeah, hopefully we see Nexa under some flags of organizations. We are soon ready to go live, of course. We can start slowly with our predictions. MOUZ Sports a favorite.
Yeah.
What's analyst desk saying?
Whatever I say, I miss. So I'm not really here to judge, but I would say MOUZ 16-12.
16-12 on Overpass.
Yeah. I would say 16-8 for MOUZ.
16-8 to MOUZ. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Of course, MOUZ Sports definitely favorites in this one. Of course, before we go live, just to remind you that Ifra is currently having a giveaway going for you guys. You can just subscribe on channel and you're in to win Flip Knife Blue Steel Field Tested. So if you want to win that knife, just subscribe and good luck to you all. And of course, we are ready to go live into the game, and boys that will bring you the action are Dean and Hoka.
Thank you, Rema, Danny, and Hoga. We are here for our second series of the day in the quarterfinals. MANS Not Hot up against MOUZ Sports. And I don't know about you, Dean, but I honestly think with the way this map pool has gone, this looks really good for MOUZ Sports. I think they've been very smart with their pick here of Overpass, because oftentimes they do even pick Mirage, and they've kind of forced MANS Not Hot to pick that. So I think this one could be a pretty convincing 2-0 for MOUZ.
Yeah, coming into this, I was thinking MANS Not Hot, maybe if they get the veto correct, they might be able to get themselves at least a map out of this, but I just don't see it really going much in their favor. I think MOUZ Sports are going to take this 2-0, and I also think it's going to be at least fairly one-sided. I think MANS Not Hot not going to reach double digits on at least one of those maps.
We did see AVANGAR upset us earlier on today. They beat Space Soldiers 2-0. So MANS Not Hot, I'm sure, will be looking to follow in their steps. But here on Overpass, it's not going to be easy for them. They've only played this map as a team in official matches twice, and both times they ended up losing. So here we go. MANS Not Hot looking to overcome and get that first win here on Overpass, and MANS Not Hot are just going to rush straight towards the B site. They're going to go for the Glock train. The boost comes in, but Nexa gets the double dink, but Rops wasn't checked. He's still only good for the 1 kill. Chris J, however, will chime in with a frag or 2 now. So he gives them the man advantage, and the bomb still hasn't gone down.
Yeah, Nexa though, trying to bring this back, able to get himself another headshot, but he will be traded up by Chris J, who is looking pretty good into this pistol round. Sticko receives a dink, will only be through the corner of the wall, so it's not really going to be too much damage. And he just pushes forward and is going to be able to find that final kill. So MOUZ Sports, even while losing that first man, they will be able to bring it back, and they somehow even stopped that bomb plant from coming in, and it was a complete retake setup. Other than Rops, of course.
Yeah, other than Rops just sitting behind the barrels, chilling on the site. Yeah, that was quite surprising, to be honest, that MOUZ Sports managed to get those kills so quickly. Chris J chiming in with a 3K really made a big difference. Those 2 kills certainly helped massively, but Man's Not Hot, I thought would have just really wanted to get the bomb plants. They decide not to go for it, so now they are just stuck with pistols into this second round. We are going to see Nukia take a lot of damage early on. The recent addition is finished off first. Oscar with that scout out towards A long, always going to be favored in the long-range fights there. Asilian is going to look for a pistol. He upgrades to the Desert Eagle, but MOUZ Sports will just go passive with the man lead.
Yeah, no real need anymore for them to really continue taking these fights. They know there's a good chance for at least a few deagles to be brought in. Sticko, he's remaining at least moderately aggressive, but he's in a position where he has support, and once he spots players out, he should most likely be able to just hide or maybe take 1 kill and then hide afterwards, so not really too bad of a position. Right now, Nexa with the deagle, he will be the one that looks to try and find an opening, and there you go, he does spot 1 player, but as mentioned, Sticko, he gets back to safety, only really loses a small amount of HP in the process, and Man's Not Hot so far, with time running down, they haven't really had much success. It looks like they will try and go back towards B at least. But still, of course, MOUZ Sports having a pretty decent setup, I guess, on this side of the map. Chris J along with Rops to try and hold this one down. It is maybe the correct decision by Man's Not Hot, though. Only 2 players here, of course, and Pensky with the CZ is going to be able to catch Rops off guard. Chris J from the back lines, though, looking to try and play that retake setup. Takes 1 and has the support of Sticko now. Will also be able to drop a kill. It comes back by Esperanto at least, but the bomb... Sticko, he pushes forward and is indeed going to be able to do so. Sunny, he closes it out, and MOUZ Sports get themselves the second round onto the board.
Yeah, and they managed to ensure there is no bomb plant on the Man's Not Hot side. Exactly what MOUZ Sports would have wanted. They did lose a couple of guns, however, that's kind of to be expected when you're up against some upgraded pistols. And now they are against just the 1 deagle for Esperanto. I'm surprised he even invested into this. That puts him down to $1,600. So he might struggle to get a full buy into the upcoming gun round. Nonetheless, Sticko only has a D holding this position as well, but Nukia will spot him out, actually gets the dink, so that's going to force him to fall back. Having said that, Sunny is behind him, gets a double kill quickly, although Oscar with only the scout might struggle to hold this push, but the D comes out, 2 quick kills. And the Cillian might be able to get onto the site. He actually could plant if he planted for bank, but I don't think he'll know that.
Yeah, I don't really think he's going to be aware of that. Probably looking to try and take a couple of fights in this one. The bomb plant, extremely unlikely in most situations when you're in this 1-on-4, especially with so much presence towards A. So he's just going to try and take the kill, try and get some more damage. And as you can see, that's not really going to work out. But the buy now will be available for Man's Not Hot. We see Esperanto, thanks to the 2400, will still have enough to buy. So I guess that's why he invested. But he's limited in terms of the utility. He just gets himself a flash, and they're already overall throughout the entire team not really going to be working with a real abundance of utility. It's definitely a bit scarce. Not exactly like they would like, as coming into this one, MOUZ Sports, a bit of a positive for Man's Not Hot. They have decided to keep themselves a couple of weaker weapons into this. Oscar doesn't upgrade, he sticks on the scout. An MP9 also for Rops, but an aggressive push by MOUZ Sports to try and counteract this disadvantage that they have. And early on, some damage will be put in their favour. Nice nades found onto Asilian, as he's brought down to 60. And Sticko now, he's in a really good position. He's going to be able to find 1 kill and even drops the bomb for himself. And another perfectly placed Molotov will allow for Nexa to get some damage at least as he pushes forward. But there we go, Nexa steps it up, finds the double kill, and now Sunny looking to try and return it. Needs to get something done. He finds 1, and that may be enough now as he backs off towards the connector. And a 3-on-3 now will be in play for both sides.
Pensky holding patiently, spots out Rops. He was trying to push through with just the MP9. However, at that long range, not much the SMG can do. So now MOUZ Sports just have to rely on Sunny and Chris J. For the time being, though, Chris J has pushed out aggressively towards A long. So Sunny should be aware it's fairly likely to be a B site push. And he is taking this off angle. He's taking a bit of a risk here, but this might work out. They won't expect him to be in this position, and Sunny only gets the 1 kill. That first frag was 4-3, so it allowed him to have the chance for a double. However, only the 1 kill means Chris J has to clutch, and he doesn't have a defuse kit as of yet.
Yeah, but Nuki with the options posted up on this position. I was going to say, without Kevlar, if he goes down here, this could get dangerous, and as he falls, it's going to leave it all onto Esperanto, but he does have a good position. He should be able to find this kill, but he actually isn't able to connect the shots. Chris J left for the moment with a chance to try and clutch us now. And what is that flash? That works out perfectly. Chris J wins the 1-on-2. Didn't have a defuse kit, did not need it. And just a great 1 versus 2 is found to allow MOUZ Sports to get themselves this 4th round onto the board.
Yeah, I was going to say in the pre-game, we didn't quite have time for it, but I was going to say, I think Chris J provides a lot of value to a team. He's not necessarily the best fragger, but he certainly still contributes to MOUZ Sports, and also at least a pretty good in-game leader as well. I think just in general, he's quite a well-rounded player, and yeah, I think he's a very useful player to have on the team. Someone that's maybe a bit underlooked on the MOUZ Sports side. And he has certainly been in pretty good form in the last few months. I think he's upped his game, and that's been a fairly big part of why MOUZ Sports have been able to find a bit of success recently. Either way, heading into this 5th round, Esperanto decided to buy up the AK. He's gone down to $700. A little bit interesting. Nuki are going to spam through the smoke, but he takes a lot of damage, down to 18 HP. And Esperanto with the AK is over towards Monster as well, but it's Esperanto who gets caught out. The AK lost, and MOUZ Sports, well, they won't quite be able to deny the AK. Nukia does pick it up, but still a man lost for Mans Not Hot.
Yeah, let's see if they're going to be able to get much out of this one, really, as they don't really have much to work with. Cillian, of course, the only one that has the rifle. Not really the heaviest fragger, of course, with a Mans Not Hot side, so there would be better players to have that in the hands of, but he certainly can step it up. Let's see if that will be one of the rounds where that happens. He's just going to be making his way towards B now, along with the remainder of his team, and he instantly falls to the rocks, as it looks like, once again, MOUZ Sports, we're going to shut this one down at least. Kills coming back in as Pensky, he's able to find 2 quick ones to open up the bomb site, along with support of Nexa, and if they spot out one in heaven, the bomb plant should be just able to go down now in a 2-on-2. MOUZ Sports, this is going to be difficult, but the nades are perfect. Pensky taking out Nexa in a 1-on-2, able to get the first, and he should be aware now that Oscar is also over towards this position. Molotov goes down, but doesn't really do anything, pops in mid-air, not able to complete its flight path, as now it will be just the bomb finally gone down, and Oscar in a good position, but if he misses this shot, if the flash is perfect, then it could be risky, but with the M4 now, he has a better chance. Nexa is looking around the smoke currently, and he will just peek directly out into the crosshair of Oscar. MOUZ Sports get themselves a 5th round, but it's a little bit costly. They lose a lot more players than perhaps you would have expected. They're able to get themselves up, but also with Mans Not Hot having very minimal investment, being able to get that bomb plant and 4 kills is definitely a lot more than they perhaps would have even expected.
There we go. They do manage to get a pretty good round, all things considered. However, still no rounds on the board for Mans Not Hot, and that is really what they need at this point. They've got that full buy you were talking about. Nukia picking up the AWP. As was discussed on the desk, it's Nukia now who seems to be picking up that AWP way more often than Esperanto for the Mans Not Hot lineup. And we are going to see that Molotov go towards short, but Chris J, ooh, he takes a lot of damage there. I think he thought he'd extinguish the molly. I think it was only the 1 molly in, so I don't know how it didn't get extinguished. But either way, net to play comes in, and Stiko can only get the 1 trade. Chris J is up close, but with that AWP, it's not exactly where he wants to be, so he has to fall back. And now MOUZ Sports, they're in a 3v4 with 2 AWPs still in play. This is going to be quite difficult.
Certainly, Oscar, though, is the man that may be able to bring these rounds back in favour of MOUZ Sports, and as I say that, he does manage to take down his Cillian. Finishes off the player who had been previously tagged up quite heavily, so the ideal player for Mans Not Hot to lose if they are forced to lose one, as they will just look to try and commit towards the A-bomb site, where Oscar is still going to be alive, but he doesn't really last for too much longer. Rops finds only 1 before falling to Pensky, and once again, the 2 kills by Pensky will allow for the bomb site to be opened up. Let's see if this time if it'll be enough. Pensky is going to actually change the position of the bomb plant, just being cautious of the flank. They're both towards the truck though, which isn't really the greatest position, but Chris J, as mentioned, he was packed up previously and now stuck out on the truck. He will be taken down as Pensky finds himself a triple in the round, and Mans Not Hot are able to claim their first.
Yeah, and actually, somewhat surprisingly, MOUZ Sports don't have that much money built up. They are going to go for the Force, though. Oscar can just about drop the rifle alongside having an AWP for himself. The M4 will go over to Rops. I'd say the two sort of standout players for MOUZ Sports get the guns they were looking for. Although, to be fair, Sunny as a third star is also very, very solid for that position. He's actually been, again, another one of the reasons why MOUZ Sports have been such a strong team. There goes Nexa, though, winning that first fight in towards Connector. Surprised to see Chris J go aggressive there, because maybe if you're just having pistols, it's worth going for the push. However, they have a couple of players with the rifles that could still get the job done. But Chris J getting caught makes things a lot more difficult. We are going to see even more damage done to the Man's Not Hot side, though, and Sunny, pushing through Connector, manages to get that headshot. That's the bomb, I think, in his presence. Although he's not pushed far enough to spot it out, Sunny now falls back. That's really unfortunate for MOUZ Sports, but it's still a 4 versus 4 with an extra gun in their hands.
Yeah, Esperanto being taken down low to 10 HP gives a pretty decent chance here for MOUZ Sports. They have a solid set of weapons now. The only problem is they're lacking in utility. They don't have a defuse kit, so they will be perhaps looking to just try and shut this down before the terrorists actually make their way onto a bomb site. And speaking of that, they are going to have to make a decision soon about which one they want to go towards. And Oscar, he's pushing forward. That's the gun barrel of Nukia. We'll be able to take them down as MOUZ Sports are able to claim themselves a one-man advantage. And now the bomb, 30 seconds to make its way towards the site, and it looks like it's going to go towards A, where currently a grey setup is going to be in play for MOUZ Sports. Two players aggressive on short to try and delay the time even further. Maybe even just get all the kills if it's Oscar that you're talking about, as he gets 2 at least. But Asilian finally trades it, but that should be the round now in favour of MOUZ Sports, as I don't think there's anything that can be done. There's no time remaining, and it will be 6 now for MOUZ Sports, as Asilian at least attempting to save. I don't think that's going to be allowed. Tico finds it from behind. And I actually just want to quickly say something about that round. I don't know if you noticed this, but when Man's Not Hot were taking control of A long, as Nukia threw out that flash, he quickly shot the off afterwards, had the time into perfection, and actually completely masked the knives. I really like that play. Just a small detail that kind of makes it a bit easier for that pop flash to actually catch players off guard.
Yeah, that worked really well, but then the rest of the round kind of fell apart with Oscar in towards bathrooms. A little bit of a shame, but you know, those small plays, as you were saying, can make a fairly big difference. But Man's Not Hot have again gone for quite a risky decision, going for the force buy. They get themselves 2 AKs, and Nexa up close into Connector is going to win the fight of the SMGs. Surprisingly enough, MOUZ Sports also had a couple of players on weak weapons. Stico there goes down with the MP9, and Chris J also only has a Deeg. So MOUZ Sports certainly could struggle in this round, depending on how it ends up playing out. You can see into this current round, they are going to try and kind of spread thinly across the map. They have 2 players committed to A and 2 towards B, and the rotations between the site are quick enough, but oh, Chris J gets that shot with the Deeg in towards Connector. I was pointing out he only has the pistol, but still gets it done, back to a 4v4.
Yeah, great shot by Chris J, and that actually gives a bit of info now for MOUZ Sports to work with. Rather, they're aware that there was at least one player attempting to try and come down Connector, but as we can see, the rest of them just grouping up towards Monster are going to try and overwhelm this B bomb site. Actually do decide to send 2 up towards short also, or it looked like they were going to, but no longer. Nukia will be looking to try and lead with the AK, but the Molotov is going to delay it a small amount. Luckily enough, still a smoke in play, we'll be able to extinguish that, but now down to 28 seconds, the time beginning to get low. Need to get these kills, and Nukia will at least be able to start that off strong. He finds the first Chris J, he will be able to trade that though, but it may not be enough, as now Oscar is going to be the last man standing. He hits the flick onto Esperanto. He gives an opening now, as in a 1-on-2 with one player being low HP. This could get dangerous. Oscar even trades his way out towards the AK-47, and this could be difficult still for the Man's Not Hot players. This is a pretty decent position for Oscar, but he may not expect a second in this spot. Pensky, let's see if he's going to be able to clutch this one out, as he does spot out Oscar, and eventually gets himself the headshot. It got a little bit iffy. There was some nice damage at least found towards the end of that round by the final MOUZ Sports player, but losing that one means now that their economy once again will be looking quite weak. They're facing up against an eco, and because of that we do see a pause being called, but rather it's actually by Man's Not Hot, so I presume technical.
Yeah, MOUZ Sports can discuss in this time what they want to do with their buy. I would expect them to just go for 1 eco, or maybe a couple of pistols invested, but there's no reason to force here. Either way, while there's a little bit of a pause, while the teams discuss what they want to do, or those technical issues get fixed, I'm going to quickly mention our giveaway we have running here on eFrag. We've got a flip knife blue steel field tested, which is up for grabs. And to enter the giveaway, you just have to subscribe to the channel on Twitch. especially if you've got a Twitch Prime sub still left. There's no reason not to. It's literally free for you. So make sure to check it out. If you want to get that Flip Knife Blue Steel, subscribe on the channel. That's going to be drawn on Sunday. And other than that, we're back into the game. And as expected, MOUZ Sports only invest into pistols.
Yeah, just looking to try and get some damage done in this round. They know that once again, MANS only living with one player. They don't really get a chance to build up any economy. So into this one, MANS they spend everything to get out these rifles. So if MOUZ Sports are able to drop at least a couple of those, they'll be in a good position in the following round to try and break their economy. As right now, MANS should have at least an easy enough round into this one. Not really a lot invested into. There is Sunny who has the Deagle and Kevlar. But other than that, it's just going to be pistols. And I like that. There's Stiko run boosting his teammate over towards the other side of Monster so that if there was someone holding this position, they wouldn't be aware that anyone had crossed. There was no smoke down. They maybe wouldn't check that position. But over towards A now, it will be the first action coming in. Tensky's going to be able to claim himself a headshot on towards Sunny. And now MOUZ Sports on a 4-on-5. They already lost that player who invested into the Kevlar. And it looks like MANS are just going to be grouping towards this A bomb site. And it's going to be a tough hold as Oscar will be the man to look to try and at least get something done. He has a good position on the flank. He has the Desert Eagle, but he needs to try and get something before his teammates get overwhelmed on the bomb site. As now smoke begins to fade, Oscar from behind finds one at least, and Tickle able to step it up also. But still, the kills are going to be gone back in favour of the terrorist side. On the bomb site, won't be able to find anything. And then Rops will be left alone in a 1-on-3. Well, low HP on the two of these players. Perhaps a couple more kills is at least in the works for Rops. He will actually catch Pensky off guard. That was the one who was looking actually quite healthy, but he wasn't able to take that. He will be taken down instead. And MANS now getting themselves up to 3. But as I said, MOUZ Sports, they can buy into this one. They at least cause a bit of reinvestment for MANS, which means once again they don't really build up any economy. And this is going to be an important gun round for both sides.
Yeah, and that certainly puts this game right back in the balance. MANS have brought themselves back to a decent enough position, but they have to win this round if they want to reset the MOUZ economy again. We saw Oscar there peek towards mid. He didn't quite connect with the shot. He goes for the re-peek. Oscar just so confident with that AWP, and it gets him that reward of the opening kill in this round. And Oscar can be a very fun AWPer to watch because he generally is that confident with the AWP consistently. And Chris J wins a fight elsewhere, but Esperanto, 1 bullet, 1 kill, does eventually finish off Oscar. Having said that, Esperanto's making a lot of noise and the players are up close. Luckily for Esperanto, he's not going to go for the peek, but now Sunny peeks in towards him, so Esperanto brings it back to a 3v3. Having said that, take a look at the map. Chris J is on the big flank. Looks as though Chris J not pulling the trigger on the flank just yet. It's Stiko to get the kill out towards A long. Chris J has cleared A long himself though, and this could get awkward. Oh no, MOUZ Sports seem to think it's a B play because Chris J didn't spot anyone towards long. Now I think they are going to stick with at least one player towards A. Indeed, Stiko will stay on the site. The M4 in hand, Stiko gets the dink. There's the first kill, and it leaves a Cillian on just 14 HP. And the bomb plant will not be possible. Chris J manages to finish things off. So MOUZ Sports are able to win that round. And unfortunately for MANS Not Hot, that leaves them fairly heavily behind now. Not only do they have a 4-round deficit, but they also have a sub-optimal buy into this 11th round. 2 AKs alongside 3 pistols bought up. But more importantly, take a look at the nades on the MANS Not Hot side. They have almost nothing to work with. Because of that, they're going to try the B-rush, but Rops gets a triple kill. Nearly the quad. Chris J steals it away, and Chris J is going to spray down the second man. And that is MANS Not Hot getting completely shut out of the B site. I certainly understand why they tried to go for the fast play, but this time around, it completely goes against them. And now MANS Not Hot are in real trouble because they are down with just, well, almost no investment into this round. Just a couple of pistols into this 12th. And at this point, I think MANS Not Hot are just going to have to try and, you know, mainly play for the second half. This T side has not really worked out for them. Stiko holding towards mid, gets that quick headshot. Oh, Stiko just puts 1 bullet through that smoke and manages to take down a Cillian. I know it's only against pistols, but that is still impressive and a very, very nice way for MOUZ Sports to open up this round. Oscar holding connector gets another spray transfer. 2 kills for Stiko, 2 for Oscar. And Stiko decides to steal away the MVP with that 3rd kill at the end there. Man's Not Hot finally back to a bye, and this time they do have nades, but they're already fairly far behind here. 9-3 down now.
Yeah, it's still salvageable. Of course, they can still try and get these final 3 rounds, and then actually 6 would still be a pretty solid number. They would probably be fairly happy with that, especially considering the start. But right now, MOUZ Sports is just looking quite good. They've built up a bit of an economy. They are going to decide to even keep one FAMAS into this round, even though Stiko has 7100. So they're definitely feeling confident at the moment. And we see early on some control just going to come in towards. Oh, that's spam by Tensky. Takes Oscar down to 65. It's not the most damage, but it is a decent amount to find, especially with Esperanto himself being taken down to 31 early on, and now Tensky receiving some. The spray through Monster just is wild, and Oscar pushing forward, baited straight into the crosshair of Esperanto. Nice find by Man's Not Hot there to get themselves that 1-man advantage. And in MOUZ Sports in a 4-on-5, we likely will see some more aggression coming in. The question is about where, and it seems to be the boost, and that's just going to be read perfectly by Tensky. Sunny falls, and now Man's Not Hot with a 2-man advantage should be able to claim themselves a 4th round unless some heroic plays are pulled off by MOUZ Sports.
Yeah, we have seen Stiko out towards A, try and get some information. However, I'm not sure how many players he will spot before the push comes towards the site. 45 seconds left, and Man's Not Hot are going to group up around A long. So Stiko should get the early information. That might allow him to call for the rotate, but how many kills can he get? He does get the 1, but the trade is too quick for him to do anything else. MOUZ Sports have, however, rotated up towards A, and you can see Man's Not Hot still not grouping up. 2 players at A long. The bomb is dropped as Chris J lines them up. It's back to a 1v2 now for Rops. Time is ticking down. Man's Not Hot needs to speed this up, but Rops taken incredibly low on health. 13 seconds. Man's Not Hot making their way forwards. Rops is in towards Bank, and he might get that kill. Indeed, he does. Nexa just about has time, but he goes for the fake plant. And Nexa, with balls of steel to not commit to the plant there, wins his team the round.
Rops, he was just repeating to himself, pros don't fake, pros don't fake, pros don't fake. He walked forward with his knife out and just instantly got taken down. Really, in that situation, he probably should have just had the gun out, because even if he ran with his knife from that position, likely the bomb plant would have came down no matter what. Having the AK ready then to hold for that peak probably would have been ideal, but yeah, I guess in the moment it's a little bit harder. I'm of course Captain Hindsight, but yeah, it is going to be another round for Man's Not Hot. It's not quite as one-sided as we thought it would be after they found those 2 initial kills, but they do get it in the end. MOUZ Sports able to get the buyout once again though, and it's looking quite a bit better than Man's Not Hot. Of course, that double up setup always gonna be better than having a double UMP setup. And there we go, Esperanto though. He will find that opening kill, takes down Stiko towards middle, and Man's Not Hot once again claiming that first blood.
Yeah, they've done a decent job at getting entries in some of these rounds, but just as I say that, Oscar gets the trade back, and the AWP is going to get a second. Oscar in towards Connector could have been a bit vulnerable. However, his teammate Sunny has pushed through, so Oscar will be fairly happy to hold this angle. Having said that, now he could be in danger. Sunny goes down, and Oscar's going to look back towards Connector to try and get this pick. Oscar up to a 3K. And he might just get the 4, peeking up towards top Connector. However, up close, now Nexa takes him down and just about gets his AK out for the second frag. There we go, Man's Not Hot. Even though it was looking like a poor start for them, if they can salvage 6 rounds at the half, they'll be, I think, quite happy with that.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be happy with that, as I said a couple of moments ago. As when they were on 3, I said if they can get the next 3, they will be happy, and it's looking quite likely now. They get themselves up to 5 already, but Oscar having the op is something that they still have to be wary of. He looks like he is going to be trying to go aggressive, and it works out. Esperanto falls, you know, just holding for that repeat. Will be able to find that successfully, and that will be a bit of a better situation now for Man's Not Hot. They're happy enough with that trade. They'll be happy that they're able to keep it in a 4-on-4. And Oscar, I guess he was thinking, we don't really have the weaponry, I need to keep aggressing. Maybe 1 kill isn't enough, but it was definitely the incorrect decision to reface that one, I'd say. As now Man's Not Hot looking good. They are just going to regroup outside of B, it seems, and try and make their way in towards this side of the map. But then again, Sunny, look how aggressive he is. He's up close, gets the spray down on 2. He eventually trades it, but a lot of info is being gained. The bomb has been spotted. Also, a man advantage will now be in favour of MOUZ Sports, but Rops just looking to try and continue to play up close with this UMP.
Has gone into that corner. Will it be checked? Nexa is methodically clearing the angles, and that allows him to bring it back to an even position. 2v2. And Man's Not Hot just going to push straight up onto the B site. And considering Stiko is the only player here for the time being, he's going to have to play very passively, very patiently, and wait for Chris J to get into position. That is happening as we speak. The bomb goes down. Chris J is on the big flank, and Stiko manages to deny the bomb plant. Nexa, the last man left, is caught out by Chris J. And MOUZ Sports do manage to snatch away double digits right at the end of the half. And you can see quite a few players fragging on the MOUZ Sports side. Oscar and Chris J both leading the way for the team. And with a 10-5 lead, they'll be feeling, I think, quite good about their chances, especially if they can win that pistol like they did in the first half.
Oh yeah, the pistol will be extremely important here for MANS Not. There's not really any other way to say it. If they don't take this, they're not really going to have much room to work with. Going over now onto the CT side, of course, it is the side of the map that there is a bit of a favoritism towards. It definitely is the side where you'd expect the team to come out with a slightly higher number at least. But if they do lose the second pistol round, then likely MOUZ Sports just run away up to 13 before the guns even come out for MANS Not Hot. So this is going to be important, and you can see right now a bit of a gamble going to be coming in by the CT side. They stack up towards B, and they're going to be doing so quite aggressively as they look to try and face, and that's not really going to work out early on. Rops with the Glock, he opens that up. USP being retrieved, able to get himself another headshot into Nukia and Nexa, as Tensky's going to be the last line of defense over towards B. Gets himself two also, as he's looking to try and return the favor, but Sunny comes in instantly, and now it's looking much brighter for the MOUZ Sports side as they claim themselves a two-man advantage and leave it all onto a Cillian. Try and clutch out the 1-on-3. He will be, of course, looking to try and go for this one. He's going to be coming in from heaven with 3 players to find, and currently no defuse kit in his possession. It's looking unlikely, and as his head's taken off by Chris J, it's definitely impossible, and MOUZ Sports get themselves that 11th round.
Yeah, and it was that all-important pistol round we were discussing that goes the way of MOUZ. And you can see they realize what that means for them. They are going to make sure they have no chance of, well, obviously there's some chance, but they're minimizing the chance of losing this round by making sure they have plenty of rifles. Having said that, MANS Not Hot are going to stack up with a little bit of a stack out towards A long. That could work here because the quick pace play is coming in, and a Cillian up close with the CZ gets the first kill, and that is the bomb dropped. There goes a second frag for a Cillian. The CZ putting in a shift. And MANS Not Hot might have a chance to win this round now. However, they are still up against 3 AKs. Just like I say that though, Oscar's down to 8 HP. Esperanto does get caught in the back. So finally MOUZ get their first frag. They still need to get that bomb back.
And also Oscar down to 8 is not going to be good at all. Having that AK isn't really too viable when you're only 8 points of HP. Chris J though, he will be able to at least return one. Finally drops a Cillian, but Nukia with one of his own before falling to the hands of Rops. So we end up in a 2-on-2. HP advantage, of course, still slightly in favour of the MANS Not Hot side. And Nexa actually in a pretty good position here. Maybe able to catch Oscar off guard. You know, he gets himself an easy headshot and brings it down to a 1-on-1. Rops, we've seen him in this position a few times over on the CT side. Let's see if he'll be able to clutch it out this time. But he gets caught off guard with a smoke in his hand. But he is yet actually to fall, as he still has the chance to try and hit the shot. He spots out Nexa pushing up close. And because of that, he's just going to begin to sprint his way back. He could just go down connector towards B. And it looks like that will indeed be what he goes for. Nexa now has to be cautious, has to be wary that Rops could still be hanging around close up to the bathrooms. As the bomb goes down though, he should now be aware, and it will be a 1-on-1 retake with no defuse kit for Nexa to work with. Now Rops, he knows he can just try and play the time on this one. Has to be cautious though, because Nexa in such an aggressive position can really come in from anywhere, but he will now be known as his steps are going to be heard, making his way in. So many different angles to try and clear. And look how Rops is playing this. He's playing it perfectly, and knowing that it's a force spy coming in from MANS Not Hot, likely they won't have a defuse kit. And because of that, he just doesn't go for a single peek. He's happy enough to just hang back. Nexa has to try and find this kill, and it's not going to work out as Rops will get it, and he clutches out the 1 versus 2.
Yeah, I think Rops really played that one to perfection. That looks like he was completely in control of the clutch. Even just down to that initial smoke out in towards bathrooms. You saw there, Nexa on the other side of that smoke couldn't take the risk of pushing through because he wasn't sure if Rops was still around. And if Rops is just watching that smoke, you can't go through that because you're just going to lose the 1v1 and it's going to look fairly silly. Either way, MOUZ Sports now are just going to rush straight onto the B site. They're up against full-on USPs. And they're just going to try and get this round over and done with as quickly as possible because they have plenty of MAC-10s. Oscar even just sticking with a Glock because he's confident his teammates can clean it up. And the MAC-10s get all the kills between them. A nice little money maker and just a 27-second round win for MOUZ Sports there.
Yeah, and as I said, likely going to be 13-5 before the guns were brought out for Mans na hot, and that is indeed the case. You can see that right now, but they do get a pretty solid bio, which is a positive. We see MOUZ Sports actually deciding to keep themselves a couple of SMGs into this one, the MAC-10s, but also with head armor lacking onto 3 of these players for the CT side. They will be still quite dangerous and quite viable, especially if they go for a faster round to take them close range in towards the B bomb site, which looks like they may be going for. Their presence all grouped up in this position. Nexa, that's not going to blind them up. He will only find one though as Thicko gets the trade successfully, and Rops with the MAC-10 is getting work done. Right to the Glock and is able to finish off Tensky eventually. MOUZ Sports claim themselves both a man advantage and control of this B bomb site. And Utility now to try and hold them back for longer. Or maybe not. Rops, the smoke bounces back down onto the position that he's on, and that gives Asilians a chance to try and get this one back in their favour. He's able to take down Oscar and also drop the bomb in the process. It's now on a 2-on-2, and Sunny looking for a weapon to try and upgrade towards. Doesn't really want to continue on with this MAC-10 if possible, but Asilian in such a great position is going to spot them out. Rops needs to give them some assistance, which he will be able to do successfully by finding that headshot. And Nukia is going to be the last man standing. This man, there's some more solid players for this side, but he hasn't been having a great performance so far in this map. He's not going to be able to step it up either in the 1-on-2 when it's really required. As now MOUZ Sports get a 14th and Mans na hot once again get their economy broken.
Yeah, and to be honest, Rops was maybe a little bit quiet on the CT side. He certainly wasn't playing poorly, but he just wasn't really needed in too many of the round wins. However, heading into the T side, he has really sort of blossomed into this, into the T side so far. You know, winning that 1v2 earlier, getting a 4K in that crucial gun round, and Man's not hot with just pistols again, not looking in great shape. You can see Rops is a little bit isolated over towards B. If he were pushed, and that M4 could be lost. However, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. And MOUZ Sports, for the time being, just holding across the map. And Man's not hot. They will now push B short. Oh, in the meantime, Nukia down to 2 HP from that molly. The Deke does connect with one shot, but Sunny finds the opening frag for MOUZ Sports.
Yeah, good start into this one for MOUZ Sports. Sunny though, he doesn't want to hang around for too long. He will luckily enough take at least one more kill before falling to Esperanto. But that could be a bit of a chance now for Mans na hot to get themselves back into this round, especially with Esperanto stepping it up with this Deagle. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough, as now Asilian will be the last man left standing. He's going to be into a 1-on-3 to try and clutch this one out, and he may be able to find at least one, but this is a good play right now from MOUZ Sports. They're sticking together, they're making sure that they can peek simultaneously and just find this trade, which won't even really be needed. Stiko's able to just win that fight out, and it will be MOUZ Sports now getting themselves a map point onto this. 15-5. I said at the start of this that I don't really see Mans na hot reaching double digits on at least one of these maps, and that's looking plausible for this one at least.
Yeah, and again, this was MOUZ Sports' pick. It's not necessarily a map they're great on, but I mainly picked it, I think, because they've done their homework. They know that Mans na hot just simply don't play overpass, and they had to ban Nuke, so they're left on a map they very rarely play. And heading into Mirage, which is Mans na hot's map pick, I still don't think they have a great shot there, to be honest. MOUZ Sports are a very, very strong Mirage team. We are seeing Chris J get the work done. Only 2 kills, though. However, Oscar finds the trade. Back to a 2v2. Mans na hot have a chance to keep themselves alive here on Overpass. Oscar still just holding off. The bomb hasn't gone down just yet. Now Oscar will commit to the plant. The flash comes in. Asilian tries to deny the bomb plant. It still goes down, though. Sunny on 16 HP has to try and clutch down to 2 points of health. And he will be taken down. So Asilian just about pulls it off on the B site hold. And Mans na hot not out just yet. But, well, 9 rounds in a row is a massive, massive ask.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a big one indeed. But while we have a moment, while we are just going to be getting back into the gun round, I want to go ahead and tell everyone that there is, of course, a giveaway being done on this channel. It is for a Flip Knife Blue Steel field tested. All you have to do to enter yourself into the draw is subscribe to the channel, and then it will be given away on Sunday evening after the grand finals of the Farmskins Championship. So for now, we will get back focused on the game. Don't forget about that, of course. Get yourself in with a chance to get that drop. And look at this by MOUZ Sports, up in the pace massively. Going to be just sprinting straight in towards the B bomb site. Stiko leading the way with the MAC-10 gets 1. Esperanto trades it, and Nexa also able to chime in with the AWP. As trades do go back and forth now. Sunny going to be able to drop one more, and now it's gone all back in favour of the MOUZ Sports side. Sunny, he's turning it all upside down for MANS as it's going to be Nukia and Asilian that remain to try and get this 2 versus 3. One positive is the bomb is yet to go down, but it's only getting worse as Oscar claims the final 2 kills. And that will be the first map indeed going in favour of MOUZ Sports, 16-6. So I am going to now just throw it back to the analyst desk.
And there you have it. Man was not hot against MOUZ Sports as they lose 16-6 on overpass. Of course, it was picked by MOUZ Sports, but still pretty dominant performance coming out of the international team of MOUZ Sports. Hello again.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. Hello. Of course, I mean, looking back at what we talked about at the beginning, that Oscar with AWP is probably going to be a threat for MANS Not Hot. He definitely was. Nuke wasn't really hitting his shots. He wasn't performing that well as he performed in group stage. Asilian had a rough game, underwhelming as well. On the other side, even Sunny, Oscar, Robs, everyone stepping up. That's why it's that big of a margin, like 16-6. Basically, MANS Not Hot. Yeah, there were some close rounds that went in favor of MOUZ Sports, but 16-6, pretty convincing. Danny, what do you think? What went wrong for MANS Not Hot?
Well, Overpass is just that kind of a map. MANS Not Hot isn't playing so much, so often. You're basically seeing them playing on Cobblestone, playing on Mirage, but Overpass, like, nah. But still, when you have 5, let's say, enemy players with that. With so many kills from 17 to 22, Oscar managed to get these 2 or 3 kills in the last round, so he was top fragger with 22 kills. And I think it was Sunny with 17. But it doesn't matter, you're playing against 5 Terminators and it's going to be a really tough game. But after all, MANS Not Hot, 6 rounds, yes, but Asilian, even though he played underwhelmingly, but he had those 2 kills with CZ towards A-Long when he killed Bomb Carrier, and MANS Not Hot almost won that round, even though I think it was Oscar who clutched that in 1v1 after the bomb was being planted on B side. But I was expecting...
It was Rups.
It was Rups, yeah. It was quite expecting... I was expecting this result, even though I said 16-8, but 16-6 is fair enough.
Yeah, pretty close. But Hogger, when you look at MANS Not Hot, they definitely didn't look like a team, I would say, because we had Oscar in connector, and then MANS Not Hot coming out of mid from balloons and so on, and they are going 1 by 1 against Oscar. And we said that when Oscar is on fire, you can't really go and like shoulder pick him and try to bait out the shots and everything, because he's ready. He killed 2 guys. Unfortunately, Robs, I think, was overzealous, wanted to climb out ladder, and
I think
and
it was
Oscar.
Sunny.
Sunny?
Yeah, in lower he climbed out.
Yeah, either way.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever player it was. I mean, Oscar then had to worry about connector as well, so kind of missed two other shots. So it was Robs, as I just got information.
I'm pretty sure it was Sunny, but doesn't matter. I mean, either way, it's guy from the MOUZ Sports, right? I want to say that's not how you need to approach that connector area, even if it's not AWP player there, because you cannot hit his shot. I mean, his headshot, right? Hit his head so easily. I mean, you just see a pixel, and if you know there's op, you just need to spread with 2 guys and try to trade kills, not go 1 by 1, especially on that kind of opper who cannot miss those. It's easy shots, right? And there was 2 rounds which were most important ones for the MANS Not Hot. That one, they were forced by with few AKs, maybe 1 Galil, and without utility, they just rushed B long, right? Through the sewers, Monster, yeah. That was a really bad call. I mean, it was most important round for them. If you lose that round, you're gonna be ecoing for next 2. So why? I mean, you don't have utility. You know, they're full of utility. Okay, you do that, but you know they cannot buy utility. They cannot buy mollies, nades for the Monster, so they cannot close your rush, right? that was the first round. It's really misplayed, and second round, which is not misplayed. They just didn't have luck. That was that forced buy on second round, on second half. They had one-on-one. They just didn't have luck, and Robs were able to clutch that one-on-one. So.
Yeah, that on long is pretty dangerous setup, but I would say that MOUZ Sports made a big mistake there as well, going 1-by-1 on Vasilian. And close range CZ, of course, really strong pistol right now. So yeah, there you have it. MOUZ Sports taking first game 16-6. Of course, next map will be Mirage, and it was picked by MANS Not Hot. So they still have a chance to tie this series up and maybe go to a third map. But we'll see. MOUZ Sports definitely so far favorites in this best of 3. Before we go to a break, just to remind you that Farmskins.com have currently cases on 90% off, so you can grab yourself a nice skin. We'll see you shortly. Welcome back, ladies and gents, to Farmskins Championship, and on the analyst desk of the Farmskins Championship as well. Hello once again.
You're so quiet. Hi.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, MOUZ Sports versus MANS Not Hot. First map finished in favor of MOUZ Sports 16-6. Overpass. Next map is Mirage. And if we take anything away from Overpass, it was that Asilion didn't really perform, Nuki as well, and he was their AWP, or he is their AWP player. So he needs to step up for Mirage in order for them to take it. Of course, MOUZ Sports just need to continue to play like they did in previous map, because it was working like a charm. Oscar was hitting his shots, and you want Oscar to hit his shots because he's unstoppable. But guys, Hogar, I'll start with you. What MOUZ or what MANS Not Hot need in order to take this Mirage home?
2 players on the server. On
Not 5?
3. I mean, it
usually takes 5 players.
Yeah, I know, but they have 3, so those 2 needs to join in and start hitting their shots. That's it. I mean, Mirage is their map. Nexa always played good at Mirage. I don't know, is he helping Asilion with the leading, in-game leading, but the Kassat's school, I would say, for that Mirage is pretty strange. They know how to approach that, and I think he transferred some knowledge how to play as a terrorist and how to rotate as a CT there. So that's a really good map for them, and it's open map. They can show their capabilities, but they just really need to their Oper Nuki just start hitting his shot. I mean, 6-7 frags for the map, it's really not enough. I mean, you with Oper, as Oper, you need to have more, especially on Mirage.
Yeah, I mean, even on Overpass he had a couple of chances, but he was missing really easy shots, especially on City side. But Danny, even though if Nuki shows up, of course, we saw him what he can do. We saw that crazy wall bang from mid as well from him with AWP. But seems like they, not just like they didn't play like a team, they played scared against MOUZ Sports. We saw them in groups, like they were taking duels, they were going aggressive, bringing that individual skill back in their favor. But when it seems like when they play MOUZ Sports, of course you need to respect them, but maybe they respect them too much. I would say. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think they were playing quite cautiously on Overpass because Oscar was quite unpredictable. You can see him one round playing on A-long, the next round he plays in bathrooms or toilets, third round he's in connector, getting those kills. So it's quite it was quite hard for MANS Not Hot to take him down because he played so aggressively. If he continues to play like this on Mirage, either on City or T side, it might cause a problem for MANS Not Hot. But if Nuki once again can hit those shots, he should just give AWP to Esperanto, because overall I think that Esperanto is a little bit better AWP player.
Hogar, what is the light of the end of the tunnel for MANS Not Hot? Do they need some strats towards A, trying to push with maybe 2-3 guys A ramp, trying to surprise MOUZ Sports, take maybe part control of the map, if mid is not working, of course. If it's working perfectly, then they don't need to find a solution.
They just need good starts. To take piece around and to have clean anti-eco rounds, just to regain their confidence back and just to play like they could. I mean, you said they're showing actually too much respect for them. You cannot win against them. I mean, just don't respect anybody. It's not way how you should approach the game, because if you respect them, you will never win, right? You must think you're a better opponent than they are, so that's it.
Yeah, let's start slowly with predictions for the second map. Mirage, Danny.
I'll say MOUZ winning 16-10.
16-10.
I'll say 16-5. MOUZ.
Once again, Hogar with
at least I was correct about who will win, not about scores.
Yeah, you were. Of course, we are ready to go live into the game with Knife Round and with our casters. Once again, Dean and Hoka, take it away.
Thank you guys for the great analysis as always. We should be having another good game coming up. We saw MOUZ Sports on that first map take it in what was quite a considerable fashion. It was 16-6, I believe, the final scoreline. And they will be also able to claim themselves the knife round now to open this one up and decide which side they actually want to begin on. It looks like that will be the CT side. What do you think about this one, Hawker? Do you think they maybe could have went with the T side and controlled the pace, considering they seem to be the better team for sure? Or do you think they're better off just going for the comfortability, going to just try and lock this one down?
Yeah, I don't mind them going for the CT side here, especially when, you know, they have the opportunity to get those AWPs out early on. That's something that Oscar was certainly having a lot of success with back on Overpass, so I think having him with that AWP on Mirage will certainly be valuable if he goes for a few aggressive peaks. And you can always have the second AWP brought up by Chris J. He's certainly comfortable with the weapon as well, so I think it's fine to start CT side, try and get a good start, try and get those double AWPs rolling. Either way, Oscar has just taken the silencer off his USP. In the meantime, Man's Not Hot are going to go straight up for this A play.
Yeah, I don't know whether this is maybe that GoTV glitch, but there we go, Oscar finding a couple of nice headshots. Sunny just hiding in the ninja corner, able to find one, and it's going to be all going in favour of the CT side. Only one kill, rather. A second kill was also found by Esperanto, but with his position known and a 1-on-3 now to try and clutch out, it's not going to be an easy one. You'll see him just working around the window currently, but with the bomb also down in the open between Rops and Sunny, who have a great crossfire setup. This is going to be a long road ahead for Esperanto if he actually wants to try and have a chance to clutch this one out. And you can see he's just kind of hanging around a window. There's a lot of time he's hoping that maybe some mistakes will be made, but as nothing is going to be really found for him, he finally has to begin to try and push forward, going back to try and find Stiko once again. But still, Stiko just playing this safe, doesn't want to give any sort of an opportunity for Esperanto to work with, because of that he will now even be able to just fall back and ensure that he's in a position to work with his teammates. 45 seconds now remaining. Esperanto beginning to run slightly low on time, needs to get a move on soon. Sunny, he has to be cautious of the flank also. Esperanto has been quiet for quite a while, but Rops will be able to find that headshot successfully, and MOUZ Sports end up finding that pistol. Not really much to be done by Man's Not Hot. That fast play just not really working out in their favour.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, fairly certain that Oscar was meaning to take off the silencer, because I believe he did the same back on Overpass for the pistol round. So I think it's just Oscar things, just big Oscar plays coming in. I mean, I think it makes the gun slightly worse from what I remember. Even like statistically, it might actually make the USP a little bit weaker, but I don't think it's a massive consideration. And he's still got 2 kills with it, so there you go. The USP getting the job done. And MOUZ Sports going fairly heavily into the rifles, trying to make sure they don't fall foul to the pistols. Having said that, the players at B Apartments are gaining some ground. Stiko is the one man with an ump. He's playing up close in towards this position, and now he might just pounce. In comes the peak, double spray down, and a beautiful start for MOUZ Sports, as Oscar also chimes in with a kill.
Yeah, just nothing to be found so far from Man's Not Hot. Only 2 players remaining. One of them being in the B Apartments. The final player being in the B Apartments, that is now. Stiko finds himself a headshot. So MOUZ Sports, they are able to survive that one with 5 players alive. And that was a fairly heavy investment coming in terms of what was available for Man's Not Hot. They spent a lot of their money. They did keep some at least to allow in the following round a decent amount of utility to come out, and also the op should be available for Nukia. But into this one, only P250s, 3 Glocks and 1 flash are going to be available. So let's see what they go for. Looks like they may just try pile out a Palace. This is a fairly common thing to go for. You see Asilian will throw a flash over. They try and pile out towards the default position. The bomb tries to get planted, and the rest of the players just push towards the CT spawn to try and create space. But when you have an M4 on stairs, it's just not really going to work out in their favour. Just getting mowed down completely. Rops, he's looking to try and get himself this 4K, and he will be able to do so. The ace was denied by Sunny, I believe that was, but he'll be happy enough with being able to pad his stats there by finding 4 and just shut down the eco and deny the bomb plant. So Man's Not Hot, they will now be buying into this as I mentioned, and they actually won't have an AWP. Nukia, happy enough with the AK it seems.
Yeah, he certainly, I was going to go for the AWP, considering he had enough money saved up for it, but decides against the AWP for this round. In the meantime, MOUZ Sports also haven't decided to upgrade. They're keeping all the weapons they had from the previous round, so they've still got a decent buy together. However, they won't be massively disappointed if they lose. They have a lot of money in the bank, and here we go. It looks as though Man's Not Hot again, focused towards the A side of the map. I'm somewhat surprised to not see them go for mid-aggression, because they have quite a lot of utility, and most teams on the T side like to gain mid-presence and then try and split towards the site. But no, Man's Not Hot deciding not to go for that. They're just going to go again for this A push, this time with a full-on A execute.
Yeah, and the smoke's actually placed perfectly, allows them to get their way out towards the bomb site. A bit of damage also being put in towards Chris Jader as he tried to spam into the smoke, but Oscar is going to be able to connect a small amount onto Asilian. It wasn't enough to actually deny the bomb plant, and Esperanto in a great position, pushed up close to jungle, will find one. Flash goes down, now that allows him to also advance in towards Connector and be in a bit of a safer position. I think because of that, Chris J now going to try to reposition towards short instead to try and get this kill, but it's not going to work out in his favour. Esperanto gets a second, and Sunny now on the flank has the chance to get something done, doesn't get the first, so that he will end up being taken down by Asilian after only dropping next, and all the kills are going to be going in favour of MANS Naha as they do take the first gun round with 4 players alive. Nuki steps it up with the AK there to close that out with a double headshot for himself. But as you mentioned, MOUZ Sports, they did decide to keep the weaker weaponry into that one. They weren't really too bothered if they lost it. Their goal into that one was at least cause as much damage as they possibly can, and then just try and reset the economy, because that then puts you even in an even better position. So that will still be their goal into this round, and they do go for that double up setup. As you mentioned, Chris J also a very capable upper. He was the main upper for the MOUZ Sports lineup for quite a long time. Oscar, of course, coming in and taking over that role. And speaking of Oscar, he's going to be able to take down Asilian as MANS Naha down in a 4v5. And it looks like because of losing that open advantage, they may just try and instantly commit towards the B bomb site. Stiko, he's going to be all alone, though, cut off completely from any form of support. So he needs at least 1 or 2 kills out of this. And he does drop the bomb. He'll be able to take down Esperanto also. And great work being done there by the Slovakian player over towards B. Chris J now at the up is going to be able to chime in with 1 onto Nukia. So Tensky going to be the last man standing. Left in a 1-on-4. Will be just up in the apartments, and his position is known. So a couple kills may be the ideal situation now for him. That won't even be possible. Oscar, he starts it off and he closes it out, as it is going to be MOUZ Sports resetting the economy of MANS Naha.
And as you were saying, Chris J certainly a proficient AWPer, helps out with that round win. I also think it's quite useful for MOUZ Sports to have 2 fairly different sort of style of AWPers, where Oscar certainly is very willing to go aggressive. Chris J certainly can go for aggression, but I feel like he generally seems to feel more comfortable when he just generally sort of holds angles, plays that more sort of turret style of AWPing, similar to Skadoodle. Either way, Sunny in towards mid, turns his back, and ooh, a quick 3k for him. Actually, sorry, only a double kill. Oscar stole one of the frags away. So they both get 2 kills on the mid-hold. And, ooh, nice shot from Tensky. Don't think it will lead to too much, but he gets a second. At least doing a little bit of damage. However, Stiko thought was going to finish him off. Not quite over yet. Tensky not going to land a shot, though very low. Eventually finished off. And MANS not hot, already 5-1 behind. And if they want to break this MOUZ Sports economy, they're going to have to win more than 1 rounds at this point. You can see MOUZ Sports have decent cash already built up.
Yeah, it's not really going to be an easy road ahead right now for MANS Naha. MOUZ Sports just continuing on with the momentum and confidence from Overpass, clearly, as right now they are looking like the better team. But Nukia, he's going to go ahead and shut down Oscar. That's a great player to find early on, taking down the player who's really been having the most impact for MOUZ Sports, and eliminating him off the server. And now MOUZ Sports, let's see what they decide to do to bring this back in their favour. We've seen them a lot just going for these aggressive pushes. It is something common to go for when you're down in that 4-on-5, and you can see it will be happening. Chris J, he pushes up mid and actually wins out that fight against Nukia, so it will be returned into a 4-on-4. And it looks like Chris J, after finding that kill, will be happy enough with just retreating back off now and making his way back up short and playing safely with his teammates. Oh, he stays out on short, actually, looking to try and get another kill, it seems.
Yeah, for what it's worth as well, Sunny at the start of this round didn't have a rifle. I think he just forgot to buy one, but he managed to pick one up from his teammate's dead body. While I was speaking, Tensky gets the 1 kill. However, the trade comes out from Chris J with that AWP in towards shorts. That does, however, force MOUZ Sports to again spread their defense more thinly across the map. Only 3 players left to hold off plenty of angles on either side of the map. And you can see what that means. Rops is only watching in towards A ramp, whereas Nexa has already pushed out through Palace. So that should allow MANS Not Hot to be able to gain ground towards A quite easily, and it is a quick trade, but Chris J, watching the cross from jungle, makes sure that there is no chance for MANS Not Hot to get the bomb down without a loss. And that loss is 1 player going down. Esperanto, though, spots out the player. There was a team flash in the mix there. And now Sunny, after that poor flashbang, has to close out the 1v1 by himself. Sunny spots out the man towards the site. Nade goes in, Esperanto forced into the open, and he decided to go for the peak, which didn't work out. Sunny makes up for his poor flashbang by winning the clutch in the end.
Yeah, good work by Sunny to win that one out there. It was a difficult one versus one. That position, of course, he knew where Esperanto was, but even then, it's just so difficult. If you come up the stairs, a lot of the time the player will be posted on a position. If you decide to go back down, you give him the opportunity to actually get into a spot there to try and just hold the angle on you. So it's a difficult one. He done it correctly. That nade was perfectly placed, just committed to the spray, and it worked out perfectly for him. So it is going to be MOUZ Sports getting themselves up to 6. And once again, MANS not hot. They aren't going to have the money to get the full investment into this one. They'll just have pistols. Kevlar onto 4 of those players also, and 2 of those having the helmets. But right now, it seems to be just a fairly standard default coming in by the T side, just splitting up all across the map. Making their way through underpass also means that the A split perhaps could be on the cards. And next they hit the grey headshot onto Chrisjay. Cillian trades out by taking down Sunny, and Oscar on low HP in the window is in a bit of a dangerous position currently, especially with Tensky being able to open up this A bomb site on towards Rops. So Stiko and Oscar were the last 2 now standing. Both of those working with AWPs. And Oscar barely clinging on to life, only 18 points of HP. As now MANS not hot. Take full control of the A bomb site. The bomb will be planted. And they also have 1 rifle to work with to try and hold down this after plant. Let's see what MOUZ Sports are going to be able to get done. Oscar, he will be the one leading the way. Stiko, he has to look to try and join his teammates soon if they're actually going to try and go for this one. But they're not really having any success at being able to spot out any players to try and actually open this one up. And I think because of that, they've already decided to go for the save.
Yeah, understandable with the 2 AWPs at this point to just look to save them. Not only do you have a lot of value in these 2 weapons, but you also have a very difficult retake when you have the AWPs in play. Sure, you might be able to get 1 kill if you win 1 fight. That's at least something, but then if you get traded on, there's nothing you can do. It's very difficult to transfer frags. So MOUZ Sports do decide to save those 2 AWPs. I'll be interested to see if Stiko sticks with his AWP, though, because he went over towards B that round. I think they were giving him the AWP just to try and hold apartments, while the rest of the team all focused elsewhere. So I think that's what MOUZ Sports had in mind, and it didn't necessarily work out in that round. Even though they had the rest of the team playing elsewhere, it wasn't necessarily Stiko's fault. He was solo holding B, but his teammates still couldn't get it done on the other side of the map. So it looks as though Stiko will now give the AWP back to Chrisjay. And it looks like we've got a little bit of a pause coming in from MANS Not Hot. A tactical pause from them after winning the round. So while we have a little bit of downtime, I'm going to quickly bring you up to speed on our giveaway we have running here at eFrag. If you subscribe to the channel here on Twitch, you will be entered into the running to win a Flipknife Blue Steel Field Tested. It's going to be drawn, this giveaway, on the Sunday after the Grand Finals. So this Sunday, make sure to stick around to see if you win that. And if you want to enter that giveaway, again, you just have to subscribe on the Twitch channel. So make sure to try your luck. And either way, back into the action. MOUZ Sports still with a decent lead. And MANS Not Hot taking that tactical timeout. Again, go back towards this A site early on.
Yeah, let's see what's going to happen into this one. MANS Not Hot after calling that tactical pause, trying to ensure that they don't get reset once again. And it looks like they will be looking to try and go for just an immediate execute towards A, as has previously been mentioned. Perhaps thinking they've noticed a bit of a weakness, but you can see MOUZ Sports themselves even taking a bit of a gamble now. 4 players are going to be over on this side of the map. Sunny is the furthest away, but uses a smoke to, once again, smoke off that palace position and kind of adhere to T push for the moment. They won't really be able to push quite out yet because 2 players in palace, or rather 1 player in palace, doesn't really want to be pushing straight through smoke. Not always the best idea. Smoke goes down towards CT now, and let's see if MOUZ are going to be able to actually hold this one. Stiko up on top of the palace is in a pretty solid position to try and get something done, but as the Molotov goes down, it could get difficult. But Chrisjay steps it up massively, finds a double, ups that to the hat-trick, as now it's going to be all on to Nexa in a 1-on-4, and he's spotted coming through the smoke. The gun barrel gives away his position, and it will be MOUZ Sports once again to come in with that reset on towards the T-side economy, and even with that tactical pause, they weren't able to chain the rounds together.
Yeah, and we did see MOUZ Sports stick with a very similar setup to the round that they even played before. Despite losing that past round, they clearly realized that it was still the best setup to have with the AWP solo holding B, because they didn't really have much action towards that position. So Oscar was alone towards B, and this time Oscar tries to go out towards mid, but he gets caught off guard. Nukia with the AWP is going to open things up. Take a look at the buy from MANS Not Hot. They don't really have too much to work with, so that was a very crucial opening pick, but Sunny just straight up pushes through that smoke to get the 2 kills back. I believe he was flashed in for that peek, and that allowed him to give the advantage now over to MOUZ Sports, and it might be extended further because Nexa is going to get caught in the open. MOUZ Sports doing a good job at recovering after losing the opening pick.
Yeah, and Christian even able to get himself another there onto Tensky Nukia. That's a shot he should really be hitting. That was a sitter. We saw that player there just kind of sitting on top of the window, just standing completely still. Nukia doesn't connect that. Perhaps the nerves coming in a little bit, because usually he hits those. You usually see him hitting the insane flicks also. So not really having the best performance so far throughout this series, as he's left to try and glitch out a 1-on-4, and it looks like he may be walking directly towards where Christian is currently just posted up on, and it's not really going to work out in his favour. He does get taken down. MOUZ Sports able to get a second round in a row as they bring themselves up to 8, and Man's Not Hot now down by 6. Looks like that may be even further increased, as they are averaging just about $2,000 onto all 5 players, other than Esperanto, who has a little bit extra to work with.
Yeah, just 5 blocks in this round for the T side. Shouldn't really be doing anything. Oh, never mind. Esperanto actually manages to get a slight investment right at the end. A P250 and a set of Kevlar for him. They're just going to try and run through the smoke. They could get the bomb plant here, depending on what the timing is like. But Sunny will rotate over. Here comes the spray transfer. Nothing to be had for the T side. MOUZ Sports keep on extending that lead. And this was always going to be the issue for Man's Not Hot. Even though they are a fairly good Mirage team, this is one of MOUZ Sports' best maps. So the fact that you have to pick it into them always makes it difficult. And MOUZ Sports clearly proving that. I mean, Sunny up there at 15 kills, only 2 deaths. He's having a storming performance. And the rest of MOUZ Sports also showing up.
Yeah, and that investment by Esperanto in the previous round means that he doesn't have an op into this one. But Asilian, he will be able to at least find the opening, gets that in favour of his team, receives some damage back by Sunny there, who just spams wildly through the smoke, and Rops up close to Ramp. Gets the double headshot, makes that 3. So it will be Sunny to close down next, and Rop steps it up massively, as Man's Not Hot, even with that opening advantage, the round just not going to be working out for them at all. It will be MOUZ Sports to reach double digits as they lead by 8, and Man's Not Hot, once again, their economy has been broken. This seems to be the thing that I've said so often throughout this entire series, but it's just what keeps happening. They haven't been able to chain rounds together on either map so far, and that's never going to work out in favour of either team. You just can't build up economy, you can't actually back yourself up with the weaponry, and you're just battling from behind all the time.
Yeah, exceptional aim on show there from Rops. Headshot after headshot comes his way. That's always the danger of giving away the AK to the CT side as well. That is something that can come back to cost you. And Sunny this time around gets the opening kill towards mid. I mean, again, it's just complete decimation. I know Man's Not Hot only have pistols, but in a fair few of these rounds, MOUZ Sports have been able to get almost every kill. Okay, Oscar. Okay. Shoots his teammate in the leg. Not really very nice, but I guess they're going to win the round anyway. Nexa does eventually fall, and it's a nice little team ace for MOUZ Sports in this 13th.
Yeah, now Man's Not Hot, they will be able to get the buyback out. Nukia would have had enough to get the op if he wanted to there, so once again, strange. They're really forfeiting that, I guess. When you're up against the likes of Oscar and Christian, perhaps your confidence will be affected, and yeah, neither Nukia or Esperanto have seemed to have really wanted to pick this one up over the past couple of rounds. Both of those players, of course, are capable. Nukia seems to have it a little bit more often than not, but right now, Man's Not Hot with the 5 rifles. They're taking this one fast towards middle, and once again, Asilian will be able to open this one up. Takes down Christian. Stiko gets caught off guard in the underpass. Pretty decent now for Man's Not Hot, as they're able to claim a 2-man advantage and make that 4 as instantly all the kills go in their favour. But Sunny trying to clutch this one out, finds the third kill, and this is getting a little bit scary now for Man's Not Hot. 2 players remain, both of those not really looking very healthy, but luckily enough Nexa is able to close that one out. If he fell, Tensky on 1 HP would have been left to try and clutch that one out, and that could have been a 1 versus 5.
Yeah, that would have been ridiculous if Sunny could have pulled it off. Doesn't happen this time around, though. Only the 3 kills. I say only. It was still a good effort from Sunny. You got to give him credit, considering he was the only man left. And he is still leading the way. 20 kills and still only 3 deaths. The only times he has died are when Man's Not Hot have won rounds. And wow, that's basically just a repeat of the earlier round there. Chris J again caught out towards mid. Seems like Man's Not Hot might have found a weakness in their opponent's setup, but it's just a little too late because we're already into the last round of the half. Either way, a man advantage quickly extended, although quickly traded back by Sunny, who also tries to make a play and ends up losing his life because of it. Rops is going to have to try and clutch a 1v3 here because it is the last round of the half, but he is just nowhere near the action as the bomb goes towards B.
Yeah, and this is looking likely that Man's Not Hot will at least get themselves a 4th round in this half, which isn't really too bad. If they're able to pick up a pistol, then they will be in a good position. But of course, you can never count Rops out of these situations. He is one of those players that just has great clutch ability. We've seen him pull off similar ones to this so many times. Not usually with the op, albeit, so may actually try and trade that over to a rifle if he gets the chance. But for now, the op will be looking to try and find this opening kill, waiting to see if any mistakes are made by any of the terrorist side players, as they're not really going to be peeking at all. They want to play this as safe as possible. They don't want to give any sort of chance really or any opening for Rops in this situation. Pensky, he eventually peeks there and will be able to find that final kill. So Man's Not Hot, they at least get themselves a 4th round. They finally chain together 2 in the end. And yeah, they've still, it's okay, I guess, as long as they can win the pistol. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, MOUZ Sports just looking on point right now. It is fair enough to say that these as I was saying earlier, you know, I think it's fair to say these maps do favor MOUZ Sports, and they were pretty big favorites coming into this game today, but just the fact that they've been able to win so far in such convincing fashion, I think, is certainly a good sign for them. And remember, the winner of this series here goes up against AVANGAR in the semi-finals. So I think MOUZ Sports will be quite happy with that draw, to be honest. I know AVANGAR are certainly a dangerous team, but they certainly upset Space Soldiers today. I don't know if they'll be able to do the same against MOUZ Sports, but here we go. The all-important pistol round coming into play. And Man's Not Hot have a very, very passive A-site setup right now. Esperanto and Nexa are both in towards jungle, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to deny the bomb plant here.
Yeah, currently just going to be playing for the retake. It may at least be the bomb plant for the T side to work with. But Pensky, he gets one. Nexa going to be able to find 2 quick kills. And he may even be able to get another as he does a small bit of damage on towards Rops, who just continues to face. And he actually gets Christian instead. And Astillion will finally finish off Rops. So Man's Not Hot, they play the retake setup. We see MOUZ Sports actually just play right into the hand that they were playing as they just push directly into jungle, where there's just 3 players set up in one of the most absurd crossfires I've ever seen, and it just works out perfectly.
Yeah, you do see teams on the T side somewhat often push jungle, even when they have site control, so not a terrible idea to try and get that crossfire going, and it's proven by the fact that Man's Not Hot managed to get a fair few frags from that. And so heading into this round, MOUZ Sports did get the bomb plant, so not a massive investment here, but they still have a fair few upgraded pistols, so Man's Not Hot need to be somewhat worried. And again, Nexa is alone towards A. This time it will be a fairly long rotate as well, because Pensky is committed to window. Esperanto is just straight up standing in towards mid. So if a deagle shot were to land on towards him, he would be in trouble, but the bomb is currently in towards B apartment, so it doesn't look like any sort of push will come through yet. Just as I say, that Steeko does push by himself, but doesn't get anything done. And now it looks like Oscar with the bomb is going to try and come back towards A, but MOUZ Sports are already trying to push forwards here. Pensky with the rifle going to shut that down with ease. Nexa chimes in with a kill, and Oscar now with the bomb will finally show up, but he is way behind the rest of his team.
Yeah, he's just no real chance for him to get anything done. He has a Glock, he has 5 players to find. He actually gets the dink onto Esperanto, who you see instantly just take out his knife and run away. He just runs immediately into Sandwich like, nope, I'm done with this, I don't want to die, I don't want to give away this weapon. And yeah, that's probably the safest he could have played it. He knows his teammates are going to be able to close that one out anyway, doesn't want to drop any weapons at all, because that Man's Not Hot able to take that anti-eco with 5 players alive. But of course now MOUZ Sports, they will be getting a buyout of this one. They have 3 AKs, 2 Galils, and a moderate amount of utility, I guess is the best way to put it. They don't have an abundance, but they definitely aren't working with absolutely nothing. They have some smokes, they have some flashes, and they certainly can maybe get some set plays into this one. As right now, Sunny, the Pensky off guard, he's able to walk immediately up short and take him down. It will at least be returned by Nukia. Someone's not able to keep themselves on a 4-on-4, and Chris J. This is a very wide plant. He will be taken down by Esperanto, who's up on top of the palace, as he gets himself 3 quick kills. Rop's going to be left to try and clutch this one out. It wasn't 1-on-4 originally, and he was able to find 2 kills fast without actually losing any HP in the process. But he will go ahead and just fake the bomb plant just immediately in towards Nukia, who finishes him off for the off, and it's going to be another round for Man's Not Hot as they get themselves up to 7. And then MOUZ Sports going to be once again facing off against an eco.
Yeah, it's Esperanto putting in work there to get that 3k. He waited very patiently as well, because he could have tried to go aggressive in towards ramp, could have tried to get a quick trade, but he just decided to bide his time, and that was clearly the correct decision. And whoa, Rops!
How was that a headshot?
Headshot? I don't know how that's connected. It's back to a 3v3 thanks to Stiko also finding a frag. I think Rops just must have got really lucky there. I think he may have still been moving, and the Deegs nearly get another kill, but Sunny doesn't quite get the shot he needed. Nexa on 1 HP manages to survive. Stiko will eventually take him down. However, the cross will be, I was going to say cut off, but Stiko still gets on the site, so the bomb will go down at the very least.
Yeah, that extra $800 is going to be at least decent for MOUZ Sports to work with. There's a small chance of Stiko being able to pull this one off, but it's quite unlikely. And as you see, once he goes for the Pika Cillian, we'll be able to shut him down with the AK-47. So MANS getting themselves up to an 8th round. They won't do so as cleanly as perhaps they would have hoped. Some great deagle shots hit, some nice ones towards mid, nice ones towards A. But now MOUZ Sports, they get the buy back out, and MANS let's see if they're going to be able to continue this comeback. They've picked up 4 in a row so far. Definitely stepping it up a bit more. It's the most rounds we've seen them chain together. They've doubled their rounds from the previous half already. As now the buy comes back out, Oscar gets the up. But as does Nukia, who on that previous gun round actually stepped it up massively, picking up those 2 kills that were quite crucial.
And it wasn't particularly Oscar stepping up on the CT side with that ball. I was kind of expecting him to be the aggressive player for MOUZ Sports, trying to sort of get the opening frag. However, it never really went that way. Either way, on the T side now, he can try and work some entries if he so desires. As MOUZ Sports go for that mid presence. Take a look at the map, though. Man's Not Hot have a massive presence over towards the A side of things. That's leaving a Cillian alone towards B. Could be a gamble that pays off depending on where MOUZ Sports end up. Because right now, Rops is making sure no aggression comes out through A, and it looks as though they may just go for this split towards the A site. And I don't think they'll expect so many players to have been committed towards A. However, just as I say that, Tensky is now back in towards Kitchen, so that'll make things slightly easier. Only 3 players on the A hold now.
Yeah, Nexa in a decent position. He is going to be underneath this Palace spot also with some support, as he is able to actually shut down 2 players instantly. Chris J and Sunny are dropped, and Oscar now working from Connector to try and return this one. It's going to be difficult, but he has some room to work with. He gets 1 kill, receives a dink in return, and Tensky just spamming away wildly will be able to finish him off. Stiko is the last man standing, and his position has been spotted, and he has been neutralized by a Cillian as MANS get themselves another gun round onto the board. And now it's only 2 rounds, and the difference is likely that's going to be decreased even further. MANS should be getting double digits as MOUZ Sports. The best they're going to have into this one is maybe just Pistol and Kevlar to try and give some form of firepower to work with.
And I wouldn't mind a timeout after this round for MOUZ Sports ahead of the next gun round for them, because this is starting to get a little bit, well, a little bit worrying, I guess, for them, because they have now lost 5 in a row. Having said that, Oscar has the scout in place. Stiko tries to just walk through the smoke. That kind of looks like a play made out of frustration more than anything else, because, yeah, sure, you can try and walk through a smoke, but I'd much prefer if he did so with support from a teammate, just backing him up. Just a simple flash through the smoke is fine, but he just completely straight up walks through the smoke straight into his death. So MOUZ Sports are going to lose that first frag. In the meantime, the bomb is currently in towards A ramp. So it looks like this is the sort of end game of this round for MOUZ Sports. However, again, MANS have a pretty decent presence towards A for the time being. And with Nukia having the AWP back at CT, that could make things difficult, but he's actually gone very passive. So now only 1 kill may allow the bomb to go down. Just as I say that, Nukia does come back in towards CT, and Esperanto also frags towards me.
Yeah, and it's just going to be all going in favour of the CT side. Final kill will be found by a Cillian, and MANS finally reached double digits. So the comeback it is indeed on. Only 1 round in the difference as MOUZ Sports, they get a buyout once again. But if they're to lose this gun round, this is likely going to be the lead gun in favour of MANS so they need to start stepping it up. They've now lost, I believe, 6 rounds in a row. So it's not looking too hot so far on this T side, the MOUZ Sports side. As now, let's see what they decide to go for into this round. So far, they've just mostly been focusing on that mid control, and I don't think it's really going to be changing too much. It seems to be their focus once again. They use that utility well, at least to cut off the viewpoint of the player in window. And Oscar very aggressive, but he's burning alive in the Molotov, taken down to 15. And he's going to be forced forward, where a Cillian may be able to finish him off with only 1 bullet needed. As Oscar now not in the greatest position, forced forward in the apartments. I think Cillian isn't really aware of this, which is a small positive. But if he spots at the barrel of the op, then Oscar is going to be in a real sticky situation. As right now... Yeah, there we go. It has been spotted finally. Asilian spots it out, pushes up, should know he's low from the Molotov, just pre-fires the angle, and he finishes him off with ease. So MANS not claiming themselves the first man advantage.
Yeah, I'd have thought that the step should have been heard there by Asilian prior to that, but spotting the gun barrel gets him the kill, and Sunny just about gets that frag towards mid. He was nearly caught with awful timing, but it's going to go the way of MOUZ Sports. Chris J gets another entry out towards A, and now Nukia with the AWP needs a kill here, but he doesn't connect. Nexa, though, still on the site, gets the one kill. Needs a little bit more, though, and in comes the trade. So MOUZ Sports hold on to their man advantage. Nukia is, however, still in towards CT, and MOUZ Sports with 34 seconds. Does the bomb even have time to go back towards B? I don't know if it does, but MOUZ Sports aren't really with Stiko right now. This is somewhat strange. 25 seconds. They've come all the way back from A over towards mid, and they're going to try and see if they can get the bomb down.
Yeah, working up connector, just making sure they have control of that area so they can actually plant it for this position, avoid the op in CT. I like that play overall. It's a bit risky, especially with Asilian in jungle, but a Molotov will hold him back for the moment. Chris J on low HP, jumping around the corner. That's a very interesting choice, as that gives a bit of an opening, but Stiko spots out that player in jungle. Doesn't really get the damage done that's required, and Nukia pushing out, may be able to find this player up on top of the bomb site, and he does so with the CZ. So Sonny's going to be left to try and clutch this one now. He has 2 kills already, needs to try and double it, as I don't think they're currently aware of his position, and he spots out the first player. Damage will slightly be connected, but nothing really substantial as the bomb. It's just been tapped currently. They're baiting him out perfectly, and they work together to win that one out, as the defuse will easily come in, and the scoreline will be equalised.
MOUZ Sports should still have a bye into this round. However, they need to get some rounds together here. Again, remember, MOUZ Sports had an 11-4 lead at the half, and they haven't converted a single round on their T side up until this point. So that I think just puts things into context as to how poor their T side has been so far. And we are going to see MOUZ Sports try to react to that with the mid presence early on. For the most part, though, MANS Not Hot have been willing to give up this mid pressure, and it hasn't really costed them massively. You can see MOUZ Sports have 3 players positioned towards mid. They will be able to gain a lot of ground there. However, the question now becomes, can they use it to successfully get towards a site? Well, we're going to see the aggression come in. Sunny only gets the 1 frag. Somewhat surprised there that Oscar couldn't get the trade, because he was holding from top mid. I think Sunny was expecting his teammates to be locking down window for him, but doesn't happen, and that means it is a 1-for-1 trade out at mid.
Yeah, and it looks like after being able to find that 1-for-1 trade, they will just back up and try and hit the B bomb site, which seems to be the correct decision. Currently only 1 player, that's Tensky, over on short. He does at least hear the footsteps to give that info to his teammates quite early to allow for the rotate to come in, but as you can see already, MOUZ Sports claiming control of the bomb site, and the bomb now should be planted once again, leaving this into the after plant, leaving it into the retake for MANS Not Hot. Let's see if they're going to be able to get this one done. Yes, they do have one coming in on the flank. That's going to be Asilian. He will be taken down by Rops, though, as MOUZ Sports claim themselves a man advantage now. And Tensky from short, hoping that something will be handed to him, hoping that someone from MOUZ Sports will go for the peak. But I don't think it's going to be happening, as right now they may just go ahead and decide to save. You can see already beginning to back off. And actually their economy, it is pretty decent, so they could maybe try and take 1 or 2 more kills in the process. But with Tensky taking that dink, I think he's definitely just going to try and save this M4 into the following round.
Yeah, it looks like the call has been made. So MOUZ Sports will be able to reclaim their lead. The question is, can they now consistently put rounds together on their T side? Because that's not something we've seen up until this point. And remember, with MANS Not Hot winning so many rounds in a row, their economy certainly isn't an issue, and you can see that being proven fully by the fact that Asilian will flex that cash he has to buy up a second AWP for the CT side. He's going to go out towards B apartments, as is quite common for secondary AWPers to do on this map. But again, look at MOUZ Sports. They are fairly heavily grouped over towards A at the early stages here. And we do see the CTs playing quite passively again, so this could work for MOUZ Sports on the A execute.
Yeah, Esperanto has been able to get quite a lot of damage during to the first player in connector. He eventually finishes off Sunny, and it's looking really good right now for MANS Not Hot, as Nexa steps it up massively from CT spawn. He's going to be able to take himself a triple kill, and now Oscar's going to be the last man left standing. 1-on-5. He is a player who, of course, is very capable of winning these at points, but I don't think it's really going to be very likely. He gets one, but there's only going to be a small consolation as he will instantly be traded out. And now MOUZ Sports finally picking up around on that T side, instantly getting reset, looking very similar to what we've seen from MANS in the previous half. And this is looking even more dominant than the CT side of MOUZ Sports, I must say.
Ooh, and there, MOUZ Sports will make the call to go for the buy. It wasn't necessary that they went for this buy here, but they get a pretty good buy together. At the same time, the utility is lacking, and by the looks of things, that means they want to go for a fast play. They don't feel confident in going for the slow push, but the flash comes in, and Asilian with the AWP gets a double kill early on. Lukia nearly gets caught towards mid, but he can afford to play things safe. In the meantime as well, Esperanto, here's the steps. This is a free kill every single time. Let's Chris J go to get the second kill instead. And Chris J will be able to get out of there with the bomb. So I guess that's a slight positive for MOUZ Sports, but it's hard to really be optimistic when they're in a 2v5.
Yeah, very small positive right now. There's not really much looking good for the MOUZ Sports side so far on this terrorist side. They just haven't been really having any success. MANS have had full control and they're just looking really good. Reminder, it was 11-4 at half time. Nice went by Rops at least to take down Nexa. Chris J pushing forward. He takes down Pensky and Rops takes down Esperanto also rather. This could get dangerous. You see one up towards the A bomb site, but as he spots them making their way up towards short now, it looks like they will begin the rotate. We should see Rops getting into position, but Chris J with the bomb has to try and actually cross over to the site itself, and two ops are going to be posted up on this position, but he just jumps immediately across. Rops gets some damage done, but it's not going to be enough for the kill. And Chris J left to try and clutch this one out in a 1-on-2. Both of these players being considerably lower than he is himself. So there is a decent chance still for him to try and win this one as he just holds patiently, just waiting to see if Asilian or any of the players push out of this door. As now repositioning himself, looking to try and get into a position where he can actually force the 1v1s. Trying to deny the trades, but he has to be cautious of all positions now as he gets the first. Does he know Asilian has already pushed out to the bomb site is the question. As the AWP not really the best weapon in this position, and he will be taken down. Chris J steps it up massively when it's needed for MOUZ Sports and is able to clutch that one out.
Wow, Man's Not Hot will be pretty frustrated with that one. A 2 versus 5 for MOUZ Sports, and yet they managed to find a couple of 1v1 fights at the start of things. And that just completely opens up the round. So MOUZ Sports again get back into the lead. And maybe the blood was pumping there, the emotions flowing for MOUZ Sports, because they are the ones who have taken this time out. If they just want to calm things down, I certainly don't blame them, because that was certainly a very, very intense situation. And the unpause will now be called. But remember, neither side really has much cash in the bank, so considering how late we are into this second half, this round really does mean so much at this point. The loser may be forced down to either a sort of weakened force buy or even an eco, depending on the situation. So here we go, a hugely important round, and MOUZ Sports going to go, by the looks of things, for some mid-presence at the start.
Yeah, let's see if they're going to be successful. They are relegated to actually 3 Galils, so that's not really an ideal situation. So far, MANS on the CT side have been looking like the better individual players, I guess. Oscar having the off hasn't really had a chance to really get much done. Currently bottom of the scoreboard for MOUZ. Not really something you want to see as a MOUZ Sports fan. He's usually someone who will be up towards the top, getting some of that heavy lifting done. He's very aggressive. He's good at finding those opening kills for his teammates to work with. And just so far in the T side, he hasn't been able to do so. He's been relying more on the likes of Chris J and Rops to step it up. And right now, just focusing once again on this mid control. It hasn't really worked so well so far. Let's see what their idea is this time. They're able to get that full control. They're able to get a player up in the connector. And it gives them a lot of options now. They could try go back towards B. They can make their way up short. Or Stico actually does try and go, but he gets taken down instantly. And Oscar not going to be able to successfully find that trade either, as he allows for the player to escape back around the blocks and back to the B bomb site. So now Sunny, left on this lurk, needs to be cautious of Palace as he spots it out. Gets the headshot onto Esperanto. That's an important frag to be found. There's now the A bomb site. It's completely up for the taking, basically. The closest player is Nexa, who's currently in CT spawn, and he's not even looking to try and contest this one for the moment. So with the bomb coming up connector, we should see the plant coming in. And we should see a 4-on-4 after plant now for MOUZ Sports.
Yeah, that's a huge kill for Sunny to claim. Back to a 4v4, but more importantly, you saw the massive rotate come in. So as the bomb goes down, Man's Not Hot have to get quite a few frags to get back into this one. They do have a fair few flashbangs, but no incendiaries to speak of, so they can't clear out the positions that way. And Sunny spots Sicilian going through the murder hole, and he will indeed be murdered. Having said that, Nex is going to get the 1 kill back, but you can see Oscar's in just such a powerful position with the AWP, but he is shut down by Nukia. Unfortunately for him, he's traded on by Chris J in towards a ramp. And MOUZ Sports now with a 14-12 lead have MANS Not Hot exactly where they want them, because this buy won't be perfect. There will at least be a couple of rifles, but MOUZ Sports, I'm sure, will be feeling like they are in the driver's seat now.
Yeah, certainly not good for MANS Not Hot. They have to go for the force fight. They're able to get themselves out at least some weaponry to work with, and they just actually stack up towards the A-bomb site with 4 players. That could be the correct decision. As we see MOUZ Sports right now, they are going to be actually favouring a lot of their presence onto this side of the map. That is for an Oscar. That is filthy. Takes down a Cillian. I don't even think he was aware that the player was there. Just took a little bit of a lucky spam, took the chance, and it worked out perfectly. So MOUZ Sports getting a 1-man advantage. Sunny is actually getting hunted down. Will only be able to actually rather Dicko to only find 1, and now Chris J to chime in with 2. This round should be now going in favour of MOUZ Sports. Nukia left to try and clutch this out with a scout, and now that his position is known, bit of damage at least connected. No, he hits the second one there onto Chris J. So he's taking a couple of these players low. He pushes out onto the site. Almost gets another on the Dicko. That was getting a bit scary there, but in the end, it will be MOUZ Sports to get themselves map point. And while we have a moment, I'm just going to go ahead and tell everyone that there is a giveaway being done on this channel. It is for a Flip Knife Blue Steel field tested. If you want to try and enter into that one, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and get yourself in with a chance to actually win that. Of course, it will be given away on Sunday after the grand finals of Farmskins. So that's when you have up till to actually get that subscriber in if you want to be able to do so. But coming into this one, of course, MANS Not Hot, they have to try and buy. They are currently down with map point and serious point being in favour of MOUZ Sports, and the buy is not really looking very good. It's a Scout, an MP9, 2 CZs, and a Deagle.
Here we go. Remember, MANS Not Hot now have their tournament life on the line. They won their group. They beat Enjoy, Kingwid, and Windigo to get to this point. But MOUZ Sports might just knock them out. They get the man advantage thanks to the trades early on. And now it looks like the bomb is going to make its way back. A little bit of a conservative approach here from MOUZ Sports, but with good reason. They don't need to take any risks. And also, Oscar over towards B has got quite a lot of ground there. He did just take a shot from Nukia's scout, but ooh, Nexa is also pushing out through A here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get through for the flank in time, however. And Nukia also will be unlikely to do much with the scout. He's going to look back towards mid, see if he can find something, but he is caught. And Nexa is the only man left. He might find the flank in towards mid, but he needs a lot more than that. And Robs will indeed shut him down. 16-12 for MOUZ Sports, a 2-0 scoreline. And we'll go back to the desk to break down this map.
There you have it, ladies and gents. MOUZ Sports through to the semi-finals in Farmskins Championship after winning second map 16-12 on Mirage. I mean, it was closer than Overpass, definitely. MANS Not Hot at one point, maybe even threatening to get this map, but MOUZ Sports kind of composed themselves, and they managed to get those 4 last rounds in a row to win this Mirage. And gentlemen, I mean, from the start, once again, MOUZ Sports dictating the tempo, doing whatever. We said that double AWP setup will be a threat for MANS Not Hot, and it was Chris J with AWP towards mid, Oscar just roaming around trying to find some kills, making those impact frags for his team. He didn't do so well on T side though. Maybe there was a problem with that, but overall, Danny, this is great experience for MANS Not Hot, definitely. Yeah. They showed that they can even threat them to take a map out of MOUZ Sports, but on the other side, MOUZ Sports definitely looked like one of the favorites, right?
Yeah, they had a chance actually to win on this map, but they needed to play much better in the first half. I mean, MOUZ Sports played really unpredictable and very aggressive towards middle. We've seen Chris J with AWP hitting his shots when Oscar from window couldn't. So that's quite amazing. And even though when Oscar and Chris J got taken down, Robs took their AWPs and got some kills. And that's quite impressive. But still, I feel like MANS Not Hot is not getting used to how to play against teams that are playing really aggressive. But still, it's 4 rounds for the first half. They need to take more to get to this match.
Yeah, this was an insane wallbang by Oscar towards B-House. He was once again really bothering Assyrian from B-House, and I think that's one of the positive things coming out of Oscar, because he's so aggressive with AWP at the beginning as T that you can't really predict what is he going to do. One time he's being passive, waiting you to jump out on B-House. Second time he's rushing through Molotovs, trying to get kills. And here is that bracket. So Space Soldiers lost versus AVANGAR 2-0. That was opening match of this playoff. Then MOUZ Sports now winning against the MANS Not Hot. So MOUZ Sports and AVANGAR in semi-finals. We'll talk a little bit about that. But tomorrow we have Navi versus Epsilon and Big versus Ago Gaming. Team Spirit were supposed to be on the spot of Ago, but they forfeited their spot. That's why Ago is in the playoffs. They have chance. They didn't qualify for V4 something tournament in Czech, right? Czechoslovakia, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Czech Republic, but I'm not really sure. So overall, Ago can prove themselves here if they manage to win against Big. Big, of course, we know they changed 2 players. It's definitely going to be interesting day. Guys, what do you think about first tomorrow, and then tell me about semifinals? Hogar, will start with you.
Navi, for sure. I mean, we will see 2 woes for
tomorrow.
For the all quarterfinal matches. I think now we will take it 2-0 easily. And only, I mean, it depends on for the Big and Agua. That maybe goes to third map, but I don't think so. I think Big anyway will take 2-0.
Okay, Danny.
I say Navi definitely going into semifinals, but for Big and Ago, since they removed kind of Kiev and Legia, I don't know about these 2 new players. The first one is called Lacker, and we don't know the 5th guy, right? He's yet to be announced. I know that Ago is really good, let's say 2nd or 3rd best team in Poland. So I'll say Ago going to semifinals.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, pretty interesting thoughts. Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us once again here at Farmskins Championship. Of course, thank you to all the viewers as well for being here with us in Farmskins Championship and managing to watch with us throughout all these matches. Commiserations to Space Soldiers, as well as MANS Not Hot for not making it through to the playoffs. But congrats once again to AVANGAR and, of course, right now, MOUZ Sports. We'll see you tomorrow, starting 4 p.m. CST. I'm Rema, and I was your host for today. See you soon.